What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, dude?
Man, I'm feeling good over here, baby. First off, I love the jersey, by the way. You know, anytime you pull up with the OG homie, Big Vic, you know, that always touches my heart. That's the hometown legend right there.
No
but
doubt.
yeah, man, I'm good, baby. Freezing a little bit. It's been cold out here today, man. It's just one of them days, baby. We back. We in the thick of it. But can't complain
tomorrow.
though, man. Can't
40s
complain.
tomorrow for the next few days. It's gonna feel like it's summertime, probably.
Yeah.
So excited for that. Some crazy games though. These playoffs have been crazy. Like all these, what's the combined score or difference of score over the past like 5 or 6 games we've seen? It's been like probably 10 combined whenever you add it all up.
Easily, bro. Easily. It's been a crazy situation. Now, obviously, we're gonna definitely react to that, man, right at the beginning of this thing because, yeah. AFC and NFC, man, both of those games, both of the storylines have things that, you know, we've definitely been talking about a lot, you know, that popped up, and some of the stuff has, you know, reoccurred as well, man. So yeah, we'll definitely get into that. But as we always do when we start a show, because, you know, today's going to be a jam-packed show. We still got carryover from last episode that we got to rap about. We had big time news as it pertains to the NFL this weekend as well. Yeah. So it's going to be nuts. So without further ado, let us know where you are tuning in from, and we will give you that big boy shout out. Let's go.
I'll start us off with a few.
I like it.
Because I already know what the deal is. Jerry Ramos, 951 Riverside, California. What's up?
Riverside.
Deke and Moats. This is my first ever time joining you guys live. Love the podcast. Appreciate it, bro. Whoa, we got hot takes blazing already out here. Javi Berg saying Zach Taylor better than Tomlin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Fair enough. All right. That's what they want to go with.
Dan Clare, 905 Toronto.
Let's get it.
Jay Vincent, Ithaca, New York, the 607. Normally, what? I don't know. This must be some combo he's rolling with right now. He says, Pink Runts got me in Ort Cloud now.
Oh, the pink run. Okay.
I have no clue. He's got some type of concoction cooked up.
It's exotic over there. That's what it sounded like right now. It sounded like super exotic over there.
Yeah,
save some for the friends.
I have no clue what he was trying to say there.
Would you try something called pink runs?
No. I definitely would not.
He said I would not. I would not try that.
Would you?
No comment. I'm not the person that you should ask these things to.
Oh, you're about it.
I live a reckless life every once in a while. All right. I got an impulse issue. Okay. I need help.
Rod Dollars, 614 Southside, Columbus, Ohio.
Let's get it.
We got a little combo action. Little couple tuning in. Christina and Maurice, Ovando.
Let's go.
623 Buckeye, Arizona.
Love is in the building. Let's go. And it was on AZ too, man. Shout out to that, baby.
757. That's Daryl Syke.
Crib. All right, I'll hop into this thing as well, man. I got Rashawn Jones listening live from the 732 Neptune, New Jersey. And he hits us with the yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I like it, baby. Staying clear, the 905 Toronto. Can't forget about David Musiate tuning in from Mexico City. You know I got big love for you down there, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And then we got 26_Coyote. Or Coyote, excuse me, on that one. The 210, San Antonio, Texas. He says, hey, yo, Deke, need that Vic jersey. I've been seeing the comments. They're loving the jersey.
Can't get this shit anywhere.
You can't.
I'm telling you right now.
Seriously.
That's why this jersey's so sick. Yeah. You are not going to be able to get this jersey anywhere. Yeah. Unless you go on eBay, you can get one that's like knockoff. It's signed by him. You can't get the actual Vic jersey.
Yeah, team official too, man.
You can't get this anywhere unless you bought it when he was on the team. Unless they were selling them. Maybe I don't know if they were selling them mainstream, like in the stores and stuff.
No,
you would have had to go through the store site
to
customize it,
and you had to caught it during that time frame too. Yeah. It's fire.
I don't know. I was never thinking that way at that time. I never was. Either. I don't think anyone was.
I'm glad I got mine though. Like,
exactly.
We got ours. I like it. You got a few more on your end, and then after that, man, what happened to this first topic? I mean, I'm loving the fact that you got this chat on lock right now, man.
It's not bad.
I like this.
It
makes me feel like I'm sitting back a little bit. Go see.
More hometown action here for you. 757 Virginia Beach, though. Not exactly.
No. We got love, though. We got love for the beach, man. Absolutely.
That's from Randy O.
Let's get it.
Ronald Humphreys. What's up from the 724? It's close to us. It's right around here.
And I like how Ronald Humphrey came right back and said, get them likes up also.
Yeah.
He ain't playing around. Man, we just hopped on this thing. We 6 minutes in, but he said, yo, stop playing games. Start hitting the like button. So, we'll get that out the way in the early portion of this show. So, hey, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to just hit that little thumbs up button, man, whenever y'all get a chance. But also, a couple of housekeeping items. And after that, man, I will go ahead and break up this or pull up this first topic. We got new merch, ladies and gentlemen, new merch. So obviously I've been talking about the Yes Indeed line, right? We got some new Yes Indeed merchandise. I showed the picture of the coffee mug, but obviously now you can see the t-shirt is available as well. So if you're checking out that, man, make sure you cop something so you can support the channel, but more importantly, so you can let the people know what you on. You know, how you feeling today? You good? Yes, indeed, player. Yes, indeed. And there happens to be a little bonus item on the site as well. Thank you 7. We got Thank you 7 hats. Also, man, they are available snapbacks and in the trucker form as well. So you definitely want to check those out, man, whenever you get a chance, baby. So with that being said, we had some good games this weekend, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I enjoyed them, man. I did for a couple of reasons. Then at the end of the day, I got sad because I was like, this means one thing and one thing only. But we'll get to that one thing in a second.
Okay.
But let's start AFC. Bengals, Chiefs. I mean, this game started out crazy. And for the record, we did get our picks in. We didn't say them on air, but we did send text. So
I'm up 2.
You're up 2. No, you should be up 3, I thought, because you were up 2 going into the last game.
And we tied. No. I thought I was
because I had we split this week. Yeah, we split. So you're up 3. So that's why it's like effectively over.
It was already 3.
Yeah. And really? I had came back to cut it down to 2 when the Bengals won, because I had called the Bengals winning, but I also had the Niners getting the upset, and that's where I got at the end. That put it back to 2.
Is that what I texted you then?
Yeah,
that's what I texted you.
3. Yeah,
where I said, I'm only up 2 now.
Yeah, because this is the game that we had that I had to have. So now the contest technically is over because it's just Pro Bowl and Super Bowl, and I'm down 3. That's only 2 games. I ain't the smartest guy, but I could do a little math. You know,
it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Now, if you want, we could double it and put on the suit. You know, I'm always game for that. Now.
I can't lose. We could do it that way. I can't lose.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I'm already up 3, so it's like
a charity.
I'm giving you the Hail Mary shot.
You letting me get one throw off,
just to at least tie it.
13 seconds. What you telling me, huh?
I'll do that.
You give me 13 seconds.
I'll do that. I know who you're going with.
Can I get a gentleman's agreement? Who am I going with?
Oh yeah, I know who you're going with.
Who am I going with, bro? You just gonna throw that on me right now?
Huh? I just know. Well, I get the pick.
I've been riding with him though. I've been riding with him for a while. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
I've been hollering about them for a minute, man.
I don't want the Bengals to win. So
okay.
Yeah.
I don't want them either, but that is the team that I've been riding with for a long. Unfortunately, I've been riding with them. Like, unfortunately, it hasn't been like I'm proud. It's just been like, I just respect what they're doing. That's all, man.
Yeah, you've been liking Burrow's game for a little bit.
Yeah, him and Chase, bro. Chase, Mixon. I think that combo. Yeah, situationally, defense could be, they make it happen when they need to. But in terms of just that game, though, man, it was a crazy mixed bag, though, right? I mean, obviously, it starts out, it looks like the Chiefs are going to run them out of the building. I remember, me and my wife, we're looking, I think right when it went up 18, and we're just like, bro, this game is done. And about to turn it off, screenplay happens to the crib. Now I'm like, oh, all right, I guess we should stay a little bit longer, right? And that transition from the screenplay to the house, that was a Samaji P. Ryan, and then them not getting any points before the half in terms of the Chiefs. I was like, yo, we locked in. I said, babe, it's 11 points. This might got action here. And then obviously the second half happened, which was crazy. But then the ending, I also love the ending because just a week ago, what were we in here talking about? Literally just 7 days ago, what were we talking about? What were we saying? Just it was something about overtime rules, right? Not fair.
I still feel the same way.
Chiefs getting the ball first.
I still feel the same way. But
I don't.
Sure, it proved the opposite there.
Yeah, because for me, it just also showed that, yes, defenders get paid and defenders – I mean, they had 2 chances realistically. The first one was the pick 6. Eli Apple catches that. It's done.
Your boy. And he had probably the best tackle.
Don't say my boy. Eli, that's not my boy.
I know.
That's your boy. You like Eli. You like him.
But anyway, he had the probably game-saving tackle, too, before halftime.
Yeah.
To Tyreek Hill.
I don't know how
I feel about that play. I mean, geez.
Well, Mahomes said he didn't like it. He said he should have just thrown it away. It was one of those things where he definitely forced it. I mean, you
did it multiple times.
From then on, I mean, his decision-making was not the best in the second half. It looked like early season Mahomes, where he didn't want to take what they were giving him. He wasn't patient. He was trying to force things, trying to extend plays and doing just Superman stuff instead of just doing what he did in the first half, taking what the defense gave him. That was a little bit of a surprise to me, especially knowing that they had the lead. It was almost like they were just in such a hurry to go ahead and end it and get the kill shot and go ahead and worry about the Super Bowl that they forgot about just the regular execution. And for the Bengals, I mean, dude, as we've been seeing from them all season, they don't care about who you are when they come in that stadium right now, man. They believe that they belong.
Yeah. Well, they beat them already.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be a weird thing going on between these two teams because both of them are kind of epic collapses by the Chiefs in the second half.
100%,
Chiefs were
man.
Smoking them in the first game up in Cincinnati. But with
it was
Mahomes,
the exact same ending. I mean, in theory, in terms of being up 11 in the first half, yeah.
But with Mahomes, you're right, resorting back to first half of the season type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But not only that, first half of the season stuff for the Chiefs because you saw some drops too from their play. Like Travis Kelce, it was an amazing throw by Holmes, little fade ball on third down, critical moment, drops it. And I was reading I was hearing some stuff on podcasts about that game. Apparently, the Bengals were dropping back like 8+ in the coverage in that second half. 30 to 40% of the time.
And make Mahomes take the underneath. But
why weren't they running the ball? That was the thing. I don't know if you're right. Were they just going for that kill shot? And they were trying to outthink themselves because, oh, man, the thing to do is just to try to run out the clock and get a nice drive going. But then they're like, oh, maybe the Bengals are going to assume we're doing that, so now we're going to pass it. Maybe that's what was going on. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, that second half, it just looked bad. Like, because like I said, everything going up until that, the two plays from the 2-yard line right before halftime, their decision making looked good. Everything about it looked like, hey, they're about to go ahead and do what they do. But from that sequence on, it just looked like they were pressing. And like you said, they didn't need to because they were up multiple scores. They're the bully. But that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of 4 quarters. It doesn't matter if you just do it for a half. You got to do it the whole game. And in this sense, usually we see the Chiefs do it for 4 quarters. Usually we see them have that type of clutch element for them. But this game was different, man. And like I said, it was good to see. I low-key enjoyed watching it in the weirdest way because, I'm actually a fan of like sustained dominance. For people don't like Alabama. I like the Alabamas. I like when the Patriots. I'm not supposed to say this, but I respected it. I didn't necessarily like it, but I could appreciate the sustained excellence, sustained greatness. So for me, man, I was like, dang, man, this is a little bit different for me seeing the Chiefs look like that. But it was cool though.
What do you think? More of a Chiefs choke job? Bengals winning?
Low-key combination of both. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Bengals though, man, because at the end of the day, the Bengals still had to go out there in overtime. And we know what that has to feel like in Kansas City, especially a week after what they just did. And you hear all the statistics about Mahomes in the postseason, Mahomes in the AFC Championship games, 4 in a row, going to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. You hear about all that stuff.
Winning the coin toss.
You know what I mean? And they win the coin toss. You're like, bro, y'all literally have everything going your way. But the Bengals, they just kept staying in the fight. You drop the pick by Eli Apple. You come back 2 plays later and get the pick down the field. And then from there, what did you see? You saw Joe execute, but also Joe Mixon toting that rock. That was the other part, because when we talk about Achilles heels, right? What have we said with the Chiefs? We said, man, they're built to play with the lead. When they have to stop the run, when they have to execute play in and play out, that's not what they're designed for. And we've said early in the season, that's where they struggled the most. But at the end of the year, they had got back to playing with the lead and their defense looked really good. We saw it firsthand. Even your boy Ingram was looking good at some points in that game, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had a nice little run as well, man. But to me, the same issues that they had early on came back up. Not being patient on offense, not being able to stop the run on defense. And from there, the Bengals, man, they started to pick it up. And then they started to expose some stuff. When they were able to get that pass rush going with just the front 4, Hendrickson and Hubbard, man, when they started being able to get those guys going, you saw the whole dynamic of the game shift. And Buffalo had that same blueprint. The difference was Buffalo couldn't contain Mahomes in terms of when he would start to extend plays. They weren't getting those sacks. Whereas you watch Cincy was getting to him, and they were finding ways to bring him down. And that to me was also a big difference this week watching Cincy play them versus last week in terms of how they were able to come and overcome some of those challenges.
Yeah, because they have that nice D line.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you said, is it Chiefs choke or Bengals win?
Like, what do you feel
You're saying combination of both. Actually, I think a good epitome of that is the last play for the Chiefs when they were on offense in overtime when Mahomes threw the pick, because it's the Chiefs choke from the standpoint. Bad decision by Mahomes, I felt like, throwing it up in a double coverage. At the same time, it was a really good throw.
Oh, it's always
it was right there.
Heck of a play by Bates.
But that's what I was going to say. But it's still a good play by the Bengals to overcome that, I guess. Overcome Mahomes' amazing ability, even though it was a bad decision.
He did it with the left hand, too. That was clean,
bro.
So
I think you're right. Combination of both. Of both.
Now, real question is this, man. As you was watching the game, did you second guess any decisions? Like, dang, man, we should have really kept Mike Hilton this time. Did that pop up again, or was we good? I ain't gonna lie. Me and White, who was rooting for Mike over here, who was like, yo, that's my dog.
No, that didn't really pop up. I was thinking just a little bit ago, though, Chiefs being down in the red zone, being down in the goal line at the end. You know, I'm thinking Bengals, you got to just let them score right here so you have the time. No. I'm thinking that.
Hey, look, hey, what did you hear?
And then you got the 2 sacks from the Bengals, and they backed them up like 30 yards.
Because as soon as you said it, I was like, yo.
Romo said it,
and I was like, of course the offensive guy was saying
Romo
this.
Knows.
I was like, this is an offensive guy saying this. And I'm over here like, if y'all that great on offense, why are y'all even in this position? Because y'all won't do it like that this whole time. I don't want to hear none of that. Defense been balling, especially in the second half. Talk about giving up the touchdown. Man, the whole time I was over here like, yo, if they give up a score, they are just insane. Like, what are you doing right now, man? Y'all have their number this half, man. You make them execute. Yeah.
They locked in. But that's what I was.
The game almost ended on that second sack. Think about it. They fumbled it. Yeah.
Backed up like 20 yards. I don't know what he was doing. He looked off,
doing
man.
Too much.
It's like he was, and sometimes instead of looking down the field, I mean, he was, but sometimes he would just be looking straight at the line and just trying to juke. It's like, bro, at some point you got to figure it out and throw it away.
Doing way too much. It was like he wanted every play to be the home run instead of it just being like the first half where, hey, we'll take we'll snap the ball 13, 14 times on the drive. We're okay with that. First half, they look fine with it. You see them working McKinney like they've been doing. You see them hitting Hill, hitting Kelsey, hitting Pringle. You're like, all right, we're good. And then they go back to just, all right, I'm going to just scramble around. I'm going to just throw it up here and do whatever. Like, you can't do that type of stuff consistently and think you're going to continue to have success. And this was one of those ones where it finally caught up with them.
Yeah. Now, I wonder how much of that's on Reid with the play calling. Why didn't they do some of that stuff they did against the Steelers where they're in these exotic formations and they're doing like jet sweeps and all these fakes? And they did it on the one to convert on. I think it was the third. It was the third down. It was like a 3rd and 2 that he shuffle passed it up to. It was either Kelsey or their other tight end. I can't remember. But then they barely got the first down. And that's when they were 5 yards away. Right. They started the new series. And from that point, like, why are you doing all that drop back stuff? They tried running it. I'll give them credit for that. They only got like a yard. But then the other two, I don't know if that's on play calling or if that's on Mahomes. Because if they're dropping all those dudes back in the cover, it's going to be tough to throw a pass in those windows. Yeah. It always is. It gets tighter in the red zone.
But at the same time, if you're Andy Reid and you're the Chiefs and you got to score a touchdown, do you really want to keep taking the ball out of Mahomes' hands?
No, you don't. I'm just wondering.
And that's the other part.
Could you throw up one of those little jet sweep fakes and stuff? Where it isn't Mahomes fans, though. But it's not. It's just the short area you're focused on.
I could easily see a scenario, though, where if you're the Chiefs and after how the end of the second quarter went, where you're like, hey, Mahomes did technically do that. He looked at his first option, it wasn't there, and he was like, all right, just throw it out here, give him a chance. They might be saying to themselves, you know what? Our best plays are when Mahomes just has that ball in his hands and he can extend and he could just make, even when he hit Pringle to the front side, or it was Pringle to the front side.
That was the third touchdown.
Yeah, but that was what? It was a broken play, and then he starts rolling out that way and he sees him front side. So it's like, for me, I could easily understand that thought process. Very similar to what we talk about with 7, right? We're like, hey, sometimes with Ben, it's not a timing route. Ben's best plays are never timing. Anytime you show Ben highlights, all-time great plays, it's never he dropped back and hit him right on, his 5th step. As soon as he hit the ground, he released. Like, nah, it's going to drop back. He going to pump fake. He going to look this way. He going to spin that way. He going to throw a guy off, and then he's going to make that play. And I just think for the Chiefs, they look at Mahomes very similar, granted different in terms of how they extend the plays, but just that same vein of, if he has the ball in his hands, he gives us our best chance to win. And sometimes, man, it just doesn't happen. But I would kind of what we said, right, when you're talking about fantasy lineups, would you rather hang your head on Lamar balling out, or would you rather have Huntley and you're like, dude, you choked, now I'm like really pissed?
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that. I just wonder if Reid could have done better for scheming something up. That's all. Because ultimately they tied it. They had the ball in overtime. And Mahomes makes that throw. I don't know if I can blame Hill for that. I think it was just a good play. Going back to what you said by Jesse Bates, man. That was a really good play. Yeah. I do feel like he could have had it, though.
No, he would have.
I just don't know.
Put it like this. It was a great throw.
Like, what could Hill have done different? Probably
that's what I'm saying. The throw and the catch was fine. Do you know how we always say sometimes if Chase jump up and dunk on a guy 50-50 ball, right? We're like, yo, that's just Chase, right? Nothing the defender could do. Right there, it's nothing the offensive guy could do. Great throw. Tyreek's in position. The defender did what he's supposed to do, though. That's why Jesse is viewed as a top tier safety, because most safeties aren't making that caliber play versus that receiver versus that throw. I mean, the ball is right here. It's perfect throw, perfect placement. It's just a great play by a defender. And every once in a while, the defenders can make some great plays too. And for me, I looked at that like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you.
And it's not like they were already in the Chiefs scoring area too. They had to get like 2 series to get in that field goal range, which they did.
They still had to
pretty
earn it.
Seamlessly.
Yeah, they had to earn it, man.
I mean, Burrow hit a couple guys wide open. Then you're right with Joe Mixon. He was just running it all over them, and then they had the easy field goal.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Now, I guess I should ask, where did you fall on that Civil War line of, were we supposed to be rooting for the Bengals, or could you root for the Chiefs, or was it, because that was like a big deal, man. Yeah, I just, what's your thoughts on that, man? Are you a fake fan if you were to be rooting for the Bengals last night?
Well, you know how I stand on this stuff. For me personally, I'm not rooting for either team, really. I'm just not. Because all of a sudden you are seeing people pop up left and right. Man. They're becoming borderline Bengals or Rams fans. It's like, you gotta have some respect for yourself. Like, seriously, have some respect for yourself.
Holy cow. I was sitting here like, yo, this is out of control,
like,
bro.
Rooting for I'm just rooting for good football. Now, here's what I'll say. Like, I'm neutral in all this, but I do think it's also fair to say, like, yeah, we don't want an AFC North rival, like, winning.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to lean one way, or because I don't want to be hearing Bengals fans like talking shit all offseason.
Now, see, that mentality I like. That is very different than the stuff that I was seeing, though. I'm with you, bro, because
it's getting weird, man.
Yeah, it's like they're borderline Bengals fans.
I mean, we're seeing right now borderline Rams fans too pop up. Like, it's just weird, man. No, I don't. At the end of the day, I don't care who wins. We're out of it. I'm not jumping on any of these dumbass team bandwagons. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my team. Okay. That's it.
I like your energy.
But I told you, if there's an edge one, it's like, I don't.
Yeah, I would much rather the Rams win it than the Bengals, but I'm not losing sleep whoever wins.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like if Burrow performs or Bengals play good and they just whatever, you gotta tip your cap, because
and don't
Flacco and the Ravens won and they had a good team and they went on a good run. It's like, what can you do, man? What can you do?
Now, question though, because we're on the same page with that, and I'm down for all that.
Yeah.
Would it be frowned upon, though, if I was like, in the comment section on Mike Hilton's page, like, yo, bro, you did it, man. Heck yeah, bro. I love that championship right there, boy. I'm telling you, the GOAT, bro. Can we, is that frowned upon?
For me?
I was just wondering.
I don't think anything.
What if I just happen to pop up in Cincinnati one day?
You're friends with them.
What if I popped up in Cincinnati? It's me, Hilton, Burrow, and Mixon. We just,
that's too much. That's too
okay, I was just trying to. That's who the line is.
You're thinking about doing that?
Just ask for it. I got people's in Cincinnati. I was just wondering, I just wondering.
No, you got enough those Burrow jerseys.
Man, what's that Skyline chili? We going to get to that? Oh, all right. I would just check it.
That place sucks anyway.
That's what I've heard.
That place sucks.
I've definitely heard that, bro.
Because I went to school up at Dayton. I was telling you about that.
It's so like another spot, though. It's like the OG spot where I guess they took the idea from. I've heard that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it.
That place is no good anyway.
Yeah, they said that I forgot the name of like the original. It's like a main spot that does chili up there, and apparently like one of the guys who was working there, when he left, he started the whole Skyline thing and essentially took the whole little concept. Yeah. So I was like, interesting. Dang, Jerry Ramos said he would unsubscribe if I was hanging out with Joe Burrow and them Cincinnati boys. I get it. I
think hanging out, taking pics, throwing up the deuce. That's just too much.
What if I was like,
that's too much. Yeah,
what if I started to wear my high school hoodie in here? I just wasn't sure if it would be confused or not. Since the color scheme just happens to follow with this color scheme that we're referring to.
Stoogie McLean says, Deke, you down with the Dayton family? Nah, I left there.
Oh.
I left there for a reason.
Oh.
One semester.
Ooh.
Had to get back to my home.
Ooh.
Had to get back to Pitt, baby.
Hit them with it. It's not where you started, where you finish?
Exactly.
Okay. I don't share that because I finished, somewhere where I wasn't really trying to be claimed like that. My last stop. So.
Huh? AC.
Yeah. I'm just like, if I got to, I don't want to have that.
Listen, I think you're good because you don't have that final season on your Pro Football Reference.
That's what I'm saying. I feel good, bro. I feel real good.
It's like a disappearing season.
And we just gonna let it keep just going into the abyss, baby. Just what was it? Right, put it in that little box and put it right next to Jacques Cousteau out that mug, right? Yes, indeed. All right, but what'd you think about the NFC game, man? Transition to that a little bit. Your boy Matt Stafford versus my dog Jimmy G. Did both of them do exactly what we have been talking about and at least thought of to an extent.
Yeah. You know what? Stafford stat line actually should have been a lot better.
I would agree.
A lot of drops.
Bro, the one before they have the dude, the non-Cooper Cup. Yeah, we're like, yo, not him, the other one.
But he even had one big drop too.
He did.
I remember that.
He definitely did. But he bounced back though.
He might even had two. I can't remember.
Yeah, but he bounced back though. Cooper
he did bounce back. He had a big game. I mean, obviously Odell had a big game too. Yeah, what didn't make it?
I thought they said Odell couldn't do it anymore. I thought Odell was washed in the locker room, cancer and all this. Man, that boy been on his best behavior. Yeah. I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
Probably get himself paid this offseason.
I think he should. I think that, he's definitely done a great job of kind of debunking that narrative that he was the issue in Cleveland. And now we're seeing that, you know what? Odell actually is a guy that you can win with. You might want to take care of him. But it'd be interesting to see what LA does anywho, because they still got Robert Woods, and he was the one, when he tore his ACL, that whole dynamic. So we'll see though, man.
Yeah, they definitely went all in for this year. You just wonder how much they're going to be able to sustain that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame them. I mean, I'm all for you. You got to try to win when you can. When you think you got a window, go for it. I thought they gave up way too much for Von Miller, but
he's having his little moments though, bro.
Yeah, he's been playing really good. Moments. Like him and Aaron Donald on that defensive line has been really good.
Well, and then also, dude, Leonard Floyd is another guy that's out there. Like, they have the pass rush setup. Like, and honestly, I think they have a great matchup in terms of them versus Cincy. And obviously, we'll talk about the Super Bowl, later down the line. And, because
we won't be able to say Super Bowl, right?
I know, right? They better chill out.
We'll say it.
We're going to say what we want to say. That's what we're going to do. All right. They can come holler at us if they want to. Okay, because we on YouTube. This ain't no FCC. So 2 words. I don't want no problems. But anywho, I did like it though. In terms of the game, man, I thought that the Niners, they did exactly the Niners played the way that they've been playing all year. The difference was this: when Jimmy G has just not a great level Jimmy G game, we know first off that, hey, if he's not playing great, everybody around him has to be on their A game. And you can't have
the offensive line folded.
Offensive line folded. I even thought defensively at times they had issues. I also didn't like the fact they left turnovers out there, especially that one in the fourth quarter. That should have been a pick.
Oh my God.
That changes.
Only resulted in 3, but still,
yeah. But that's huge though in terms of momentum, in terms of the point, field position, all of that. With a quarterback like Jimmy G, and this is why I say with Jimmy, I don't mind him. Very similar to Kirk Cousins, because you know what you're gonna get. But at the same time, it's like, if Jimmy is your quarterback, no different if Mason's your quarterback, or if any other rookie model quarterback that we've been talking about, because that could very well be us next season. The difference is every piece around him has to be on their A game because the margin of error is so small. Now, we'll laugh at the Jimmy G scenario, but think about, since he's been in San Fran, what they have accomplished in terms of what? Two NFC Championship game appearances in the past 3 years, Super Bowl appearance. Like, that is major accomplishment in terms of when you're thinking about that team and with that quarterback compared to even us and how our story set up with Ben as our quarterback, especially these past couple of years. So you can see how it can be successful. But for me, man, everybody has to be on their game, man. And that was one of those ones where they left some plays out there, and versus a team like the Rams, who we know are high powered and have a higher end quarterback, it's hard to play like that offensively, defensively, and still expect to come out of that with the win. And ultimately, man, they still had their chances. That was the crazy part. They still had a chance, but
they were up. They were up most of the game,
right. That's what I'm saying. They had their opportunities, but with that situation as it's constructed, your pieces around him have to make those plays. They got to be on, and when they're not, it shows, man.
Yeah, those last 2 or 3 series, particularly on offense. Like, as much as I want to say, Jimmy G folded. This is who Jimmy G is, and it's kind of what I've always thought about Jimmy G. At the same time, that offensive line was terrible. He didn't have any time. So, like, any quarterback that back there is not going to have that much success when you're going up against Aaron Donald, just like breaking through within like a second.
Bro, it looked like screen plays every time they dropped back. But then,
and I swear, to like a couple of plays, I don't know if the line even knew the ball was snapped or not. They're like standing around there.
It's crazy, bro. Crazy. But that type of stuff can't happen with a Jimmy G at quarter. You can get away with that with the Burrow, with the Mahomes, right? You can get away with it with the elite tier guys we always talk about. But Jimmy, he's not in that class. And like I said, you can still win with that, but you see where his limitations show and how it can really hurt your team right there. And that was one of those ones.
I do think Jimmy G is the reason the defense can be acting like that.
Yes,
late in the game. It's because he is limited. You're like, okay, you want to win with Jimmy G? Let's see if you can do it. We're gonna bring the pressure. We're gonna force him to make a play. and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to say he didn't choke, at the same time, I do think that it's him being the quarterback was a reason why the Rams were able to have success on defense, too.
I would agree, man. I definitely would agree. But
49ers offensive line folded, though.
But that's that situation, right? When you have that type of quarterback, that's what you have to do. Like I said, you can still win with it, and they are a prime example of that. And like I said, realistically, we could follow that model if we choose to. We could follow that model.
But I don't want to be paying our quarterback $26 million, though.
Well, no, that's the difference, though. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, we would definitely want to dial that down a little bit. But in the sense of, you don't have to have necessarily a top 5 quarterback to always be in the conversation, which they've proven. They're all like the track record. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, since he's been there, they're in that conversation every time right now, man.
Yeah. The only times that they were really bad was when he was hurt, actually.
Seriously. And you notice also when you hear the players, they were even going out and tweeting about it, talking about it, and he was like, he didn't even know that they were, claiming him like that, but it's the truth. And as a player, you can respect it because, like we said, we understand that it's more than one way to have a successful team. At times, the overarching thought process, you have to have a franchise quarterback, one of these top 5 guys, but the nature of it and the reality of it is, it's 25 teams at least that don't have that guy. We've already done that XL. We could do it again if you wanted to. But yeah, it's like in terms of just like the legit franchise quarterback. So if you can't get one of those guys, and if we know they don't come around every single season, how do you stay competitive? How do you beat those teams? And they're showing you right there, man. So yeah.
What'd you think of Stafford? Weird game.
Mixed
Is he
bag,
hurt,
bro.
you think?
I don't know.
Troy Aikman thought so.
It's a mixed bag, bro. Like I said, because with Stafford at times, I don't know if he's elite or if he's just the perfect version of Kirk Cousins. In the sense of like when Kirk gets hot, like he's hot. But then at times when he goes down, it's like all the way down. With Stafford, it's like at times I'm watching him, I'm like, okay, are you
talent,
elite? Though. And that's the thing that saves him. The talent is very much there. But at times I'm like, I don't always feel like he plays like a top 5 quarterback. I don't. And the same way we looked at the Mahomes situation was like, man, that's the first time we really seen him have a whole half like that. We don't say similar things about Stafford. We've seen Stafford even this year disappear at times. So that's why
he's got really good stats on the season.
It's crazy.
He started off really hot those like first 3 or 4, but then he's had lapses at games where he's throwing some really bad picks and stuff.
And you're watching, you're just like, what's going on?
I mean, he has led the Rams to the Super Bowl, so this is a huge success for him this year.
It is, man.
Huge.
Definitely is, bro.
I saw this headline on, I think, one of the YouTube suggested videos. It must have been from First Take today. I thought it was a good one, though. Who do you think's story is more impressive to getting to the Super Bowl, Stafford or Burrow up to this point?
I kind of like Burrow's story, bro.
Do you?
LSU, you win the Natty. So you transfer to LSU, you win the Natty. You go number 1 overall. You tear your ACL. Then you come back, and now you go into the Super Bowl with the same receiver that you went to the Super Bowl with when you were at LSU also, and Jamar Chase. And you both are doing it super young in a year where just, a year ago, 2 years ago, y'all were the laughingstock. Y'all were the worst team ever. When I think of Stafford, I just look at him like
they were the worst team when they drafted him. Yeah. I forgot about that.
So like when I think of Stafford, I just say like you're the kid that was at the bad school, but you were the best player, then you just transferred over. You're Kevin Love. But obviously way more accomplished and way better version of that. But that's kind of how I looked at that. Whereas Burrow, you are to Cincy what they thought Stafford could be to Detroit. That's the nature of it. Like they thought that Stafford could come in here, turn it around. They had Calvin Johnson. All right, let's go ahead and try to build this thing up and win it. They couldn't do it there. Joe, think about how many draft classes has it been between you getting Joe, you getting Logan Wilson, and then the following year you go ahead and you get Jamar Chase. That was just 3 draft classes. Maybe even 2 if I think about it. If it might be 2.
This is his second season.
Yeah, so it's just 2 classes. So yeah, like to see how fast you can go from this extreme to now you are playing in the Super Bowl and not just getting there. Who'd you take out? Took out the Chiefs on the road in their spot and in overtime, and they got the coin flip. You went to Tennessee, you got them as well.
That's the big one because Raiders they could have lost that Raiders.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to myself like you had some very legitimate competition that you had to get through to get here, and like you said, this is 2 years removed from you being the worst team in the NFL. It's crazy.
I get what you're saying. For me, I'm thinking more personally.
Yeah.
Because team-wise, you're right. Bengals being the worst, bringing in like a rookie head coach like Zach Taylor, then bringing in Burrow and how they have been able to elevate like this. I'm thinking for personal lows. Like Burrow hasn't had like really a personal out the ACL. It's like an injury,
rough though, bro.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like Stafford never won a playoff game with the Lions. Dismal franchise. The part that you got me with the orders though is like Stafford never elevated the Lions like Burrow has up to this point. But I'm just thinking story low Stafford. We don't know who he is really. We know he's this really talented guy.
Because he's playing in Detroit, though.
Yeah, can he step up in the big moments? And that's what I like, where he went toe-to-toe with Brady, even though everything was collapsing right in front of him. It's a tie game. He made the big throws, and now they're in the Super Bowl.
So that's why I want to ask you, though. Which do you think is more important? Going toe-to-toe with Brady at this stage versus that Bucs team versus Joe Burrow having to go to Arrowhead versus this Chiefs team? Because people view this Chiefs team as the best team. Like, they figured, hey, this is going to be the Chiefs' next run for 4 years. Like, chalk it up, Super Bowls, that's it. We were saying that Brady, he's always in it. You never want to bet against him, but no one felt that the Bucs team was to that extent, especially after the AB situation played out. You know, we're like, oh, you don't have AB. They don't have Godwin. Like, how are they even going to be able to sustain this? But with that Chiefs team, they were viewed as the big bad wolf. And they had just came off that crazy impressive game against Buffalo. People were saying, oh, that's the most watched game. Was that the best playoff game of all time? And all these other like accolades they want to put on that game. And it's like, yo, Joe Burrow a week later with the O-line that we know is horrendous went out there and still got it done. Like, to me, I think that storyline to me just takes a little bit more, man. But
I think
they're both for crazy storylines.
I think I'm less surprised with the Burrow and Cincinnati beating Mahomes, whereas like with Stafford just not knowing what he's gonna do. And I feel at that point, like, because this for him, this season is career defining. If you
without a doubt, it is. Yeah.
So that's why I think there's just so much more weight on Stafford's season right now, and it's a cool story for the ups and the downs with Detroit, and then even the ups and the downs in that game to overcome it. Whereas like with Burrow, I don't know, dude, just he's been money. Like everything he's touched turned to gold up to this point. So it's like I'm less surprised, but you're right. All the shit from LSU getting drafted 1, Bengals terrible franchise, 2 years in, now they're in the Super Bowl. All that plays into it. Because whenever I saw the headline, I'm like, both of these stories are really good.
And it's
I like it for
that's
Stafford,
him and his
though.
boy too. Like I think of Burrow and Chase, like I was thinking to myself, like, man, if one of my like college boys, if we won the Natty in college, then 2 years later, we back compete for the Super Bowl, and it's because of me and you. It's not like, oh, Burrow is cooking, but Chase is a nobody, or Chase is cooking and Burrow's a nobody. It's like, no, y'all two are the main reason why y'all wanted at LSU, and now y'all showing y'all the main reason why y'all can win it at the NFL level. Like, that's just nuts to me, man. But for Stafford, when you brought up a lot of great stuff personally, I even bring up the situation with his wife. Remember, she had the tumor. I want to say the brain tumor, and they had to cut it out of her. That was 3 years ago. Yeah. That was something else he had to deal with. We talked about the broken back that he was playing with, stuff like that. So I think of all of that as well. And like I said, both storylines are insane.
Both are good.
Both are insane.
There's just different angles you want to take on it. Yeah. Because Burrow, I think,
they said Romo has the script.
Huh?
Nah, I looked down at the chat. It was like, yo, Tony Romo got the script, man. He gonna call it all out. Don't worry. It's true. He gonna call.
Who's doing the Super Bowl?
I don't know. It might be.
I don't know either.
Romo did it. Was Romo last year? Because don't they alternate, though, if it's on Fox versus No.
Fox was 49ers Chiefs.
So
last year might have been CBS.
So then it might be back to Fox then.
Is it NBC? Is NBC not getting any love? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't followed it like that, bro.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think both are good storylines. You're right. It's just kind of like the angle that you want to take for it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just more impressed with Stafford stepping up to this occasion. Whereas Burrow, I'm just less surprised because
the expectations were higher for Burrow.
Dude was a stud at LSU. Whereas Stafford, is this dude a bum or not?
Right.
We were wondering that.
But both were top draft picks, though.
Yeah. But here's the problem. We've seen Stafford's career like play out up to this point where expectations kind of went down. Or you're just wondering, all right, we know this dude is talent. Yeah. Is it the Detroit scenario? He's had to slug it out for, 11, 12 years up there?
Very true.
Now he gets a new situation. They trade Goff. Like, that's what I mean. There's a lot of weight, I felt like, for Stafford this season. Whereas Burrow, this is like, he's their house money. They've been absolute house money. Yeah.
I could dig it. I can respect that, though. I like it. See,
no, I agree with you, though, too. I agree with everything you were saying. I mean, the story's awesome for Burrow. I just think with Stafford, like I said, the weightiness.
Because, like I said, I could easily understand. Like, can't go wrong either way.
100%.
Can't go wrong, man. But yeah, I think that was my final thoughts on that, man. You had anything else with that?
No.
Yeah, because obviously we'll deep
nothing.
dive into it more so. But hold on, I would Deebo Samuel, bro.
Pretty good, huh?
I like Deebo a lot. The unorthodox way of productivity too, man. He's just a good player, bro.
Yeah, that type of stuff annoys me.
He's
at times.
This annoys him.
The gadget player, but no, he's good at both. He's not Tavon Austin. That's when it starts annoying me.
Yeah,
where you're trying to make up reasons to get him the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this guy's actually good when you get him the ball.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can't think of another example outside of Tavon Austin.
Because I was like, Percy Harvin, they would do that, but Percy was still more productive, though.
Dude,
he was way more productive.
Harvin was legit. His problem was getting hurt. Harvin was so good.
And he had the migraines, bro. Yeah.
His season up with the Vikings was really
filthy,
good.
Bro.
He just kept getting hurt. That was his problem.
Yeah, then he had the hips, absolute hip issues. Yeah.
Well,
and another name that I did see pop in the chat, Robert Woods. They said they don't see the Rams potentially needing him if OBJ were to return to LA. Is he someone that would potentially interest
Is he a free agent?
No, I think he has multiple years left on his deal. He just signed his deal.
Let me check his
2
deal
years
then.
ago, I think it was. It was a nice deal. He got paid good money. But he's also very productive in terms of you see the productivity with him and the consistency as well, man. But he got a nice deal, bro.
29. Oh, man. He got
a nice deal, bro. That's what I'm saying, man.
I'm looking at the dead cap on the deal, too. All right, so here's the deal. 4 years, $65 million. So around $16 million
this
a
is
year.
year 3?
Bro, that's crazy.
Is this year 3 on the deal, too? Like I said, they paid him very nice.
No, this was year 2.
So it would be going up on year 3. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like this is coming up on the 3rd year. So like.
Yeah, you're right.
The productivity is there. He's a 1,000-yard receiver, 100 reception dude. Like the productivity is there. You see the consistency with him as well. And realistically, outside of this season, I mean, this is the first time he really got like hurt like that. Usually he's way more, available to the team and stuff like that, even dating back to his time in Buffalo.
Do you know what his injury is?
He had an ACL, but it was early in the season. It was right before. It was the same week they traded for Odell.
29. So he's going to be 30.
So we talked about Godwin as a potential guy. And we know Godwin money-wise probably be the same, but Godwin's ACL injury was, I think,
Godwin's will be a new deal.
It would be a new deal, right? Whereas this, we're just taking on his current deal.
Man, so yeah, we'd be trading for him.
Yeah. Woods is definitely dope, though.
That sucks, though. We'd have to give up stuff for him.
We would.
Maybe not.
Woods is dope, though, bro. Woods is a dope receiver, bro.
Might be one to get out of the contract.
Yeah.
So they could sign Odell. So he actually might be getting traded for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying like 3rd or 4th round pick because you got to pay him a lot.
Yeah.
They got what they probably wanted out of him in the early part of it, age 28, 29.
Because he's been there for, 4 or 5 seasons now? Like I said, because he was in Buffalo from, was it 13 last year? So we were there in 13 to 16. Maybe it was 16 or was it 15? 16, I think it was. Then he went out there to LA. So you look at the stats, though. The stats are there. I mean, he's very, very
guy.
Not at all. Like I'm gonna catch this rock. I'm getting my yardage. He's gonna run. Like route running is elite. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna get open. And for me, I just think of our quarterback situation. If it's less than ideal, if we go the route of low end quarterback, high end everywhere else, guy like Woods creates separation. A guy like Woods can run every route. A guy like Woods has soft hands in terms of he catches that ball consistently. You don't have to just rely on throwing it up 50-50 jump ball is what I'm alluding to. I mean, I'm not against it, man. I'm definitely not against it, man.
In terms of a technician. So we're not getting a burner.
Oh,
but we're getting a technician in Robert
now
Woods.
The chat has something spicy going on right now that I do think deserves a conversation.
Okay.
So not just Robert Woods, they spent the block on one of my other Buffalo teammates, Marquise Goodwin, the burner. Okay. And it's funny because both of those guys came in together. They was both in the same little class up there in Buffalo. But with those guys, because we talked about, right? We said we needed a take a top off the defense guy.
Yeah.
That's the Marquise Goodwin element. But at the same time, we need a guy that can create separation, a guy that can get open, a guy that can win routes. Robert Woods gives us that. Very different in their approaches. Money-wise, I think Goodwin still is on a nice deal too, low-key though, bro.
A big deal.
I don't know how. I don't think it's like crazy big, but it's definitely a nicer deal though.
So he wasn't.
They're saying Godwin. So
Chris Godwin.
Okay, man. You gotta spell right, bro. Y'all spelling wrong in the chat, man. You spell it wrong in the chat, man. We're gonna look it up, baby.
Well, you're talking about Goodwin. You like that then?
Just the speed element. But
it looks like he's gonna be a free agent too. He wasn't really used by the Bears this year. Only 300 yards for them.
Because he's definitely a take the top off the defense guy. Chris Godwin, though, let's check him out.
I would like Godwin probably over Woods just because of the age element. where he's at.
Okay.
He's probably like 26 because he's still on his rookie year.
Yeah.
They franchise tagged him before this year.
You're right. So, 25, 26 tops.
But you're right. I guess we'd have to wait a little bit for him to play. Maybe we don't get that rapport built up in training camp.
Whereas Woods is going to be ready. Woods will be ready by camp. I don't know. Because Godwin was later.
What are we looking up with him? You want me to just look up his stats?
Yeah, first I'll look up his stats because he'll be open for the contract. See his stats, and then also when did he have his ACL? Because with both of those guys, like I said, because I know Woods was early. Woods was before the trade deadline.
No, Godwin did play a good portion of the season, 14 games.
Yeah, so that's late in the year. So when you talk about week 14, 15, turning ACL, I mean, we even saw the mixed bag of Devin Bush and Zach Banner coming back from the ACL and the various amount of time for those guys tearing their ACLs, and both of them were pretty much, well, one was first game of the season, the other one was midway point of the season, right? So with that, with Godwin, it could easily be a longer time for him to get back.
Stud though, man. 2019 with Jameis at QB, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, made a Pro Bowl. And then last year, only played in 12 games, had 840 yards, 7 touchdowns. That would have been over 1,000. Yeah. Extrapolate that over 16 games.
I just don't like the ACL late in the year like that, bro. That's my
he'll be missing
issue.
out.
Like, because he's going to miss OTAs, the mini camp time frame, your best case hope in training camp, and that's still like borderline maybe rushing him, you know?
Because the time frame's early 9 months usually.
Yeah.
So you're getting him. Well, Peterson was around the same time.
Yeah.
He tore his
in terms
ACL.
of like late, but then being ready for week one.
Season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might miss him for a month or so if we signed him.
Whereas
long term, though, I like
firsthand. He's ready to go.
You're right.
But different though. Very different receivers though, man.
Right.
Very different.
What about another Penn State one? We're on this receiver stuff.
All right, who else you got, man? Let's go. Who else you got, man?
Allen Robinson.
Yo, they literally just put him in the chat too. They was like, "Yo, Allen Robinson, check Allen Robinson."
He's a stud. I'd probably have him as the top guy.
I'm also seeing Christian Kirk pop up in here as well. He's another guy. He's on AZ with me.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but he's a smaller receiver though, bro.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Shifty, speedy.
No, shifty and speedy, yes, but I'm saying in the sense of like, I'm just thinking about this quarterback situation.
Yeah, Robinson's like 6'3".
Yeah, and even Woods is like, he still got size
He's
on
6.
him. Yeah.
Robinson's going to be 29. He's a stud, dude. I just feel like he's probably misused up with the Chicago. He's been wanting out of there for years.
So who, if you had to take if you had to hedge a bet or you had to put money on Allen Robinson or Robert Woods, which one are you thinking?
Between those two,
yeah.
I'll go Robinson.
Okay.
Health, I mean, they're around the same age. I just think Robinson has more upside.
Even though the productivity hasn't equated to what Woods has done, though.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Check it out. Let's see.
Yeah, Robinson's, dude, he had some big years down in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Even up in Chicago, I think
he's had 1,000-yard season. This might have been because he had two. Was he had two or 1,000-yard season up there in Chicago already?
He's got two.
Two,
yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Two already. One 1,100, one 1,200, then 1,400 down in Jacksonville. 14 touchdowns there.
What's his past 3 seasons looking like that?
For Robinson?
Yeah.
2 of them were the 1,000-yard years.
That's what I was thinking. This is the down year right here.
Yeah, 2 of them were Trubisky. This was 400 yards. His first year in Chicago, 700, only played in 13 games. So that's, around 900 to 1,000 if that's the full season.
And what was Woods' numbers?
So Woods, Let me go to Woods real quick. Yeah, I'd say Robinson.
Both of them, that's interesting. I want to know who was the more productive player of the two.
Because I think we could get the route runner in Deontay Johnson. We have that. Okay. Even though Woods, I think you're right. In terms of like creating separation, maybe even getting some more stuff over the middle, just like combat catch type of stuff. I think he can maybe deliver that a little bit better. But if we got Deontay, it'd basically be like Robinson taking the place of Claypool, maybe. That's what it would be. We trade Claypool and get someone else in.
Because, see, I don't mind moving Woods into the slot because he already plays out there in some of that. He does some of the gadget stuff in terms of the jet sweeps, in terms of some of the gritty run blocking stuff. To me, I like him as a higher end version of Juju because I think that he can do some of the same things that Juju does, but he gives you way more receiving ability.
All right, so Woods had 2,000-yard years with the Rams. And outside of that, with the Bills, it was kind of like 500-600. And Rams have started to pick up 700 first year. Yeah, he was hurt a couple games, so that could have been 1,000 yards. 936 in 2020 over 16 games, so that's pretty damn close. Had over 500 this year in 9 games, so that exactly. So it's actually really close. Looks like Robinson's just been injured a little bit more. Let me do the total stats here: 7,035 for Woods, whereas Robinson's total stats. 6,440 touchdowns. So more touchdowns. Yeah. I think a year or two less, just 1 year less.
Okay.
So close.
So
really,
close,
I mean,
dude.
it's damn close.
God, dog.
It's damn close, exactly. I would take Robinson. I think I would lean him.
I could dig it.
But would that mean we should trade Claypool if we brought in Robinson? Two similar guys, whereas Robinson's just the better version of Claypool.
Like, I think Woods could fit with all three, but then money-wise,
exactly.
I don't know how that plays out like that because you're a year away from paying Deontay, essentially, unless you pay him this offseason.
And this is when Woods' contract gets really bad.
Correct. And then you're still, a year away from paying Claypool? Because this will be coming up on Claypool's third year. So now in that fourth season when you're going to look to extend him. Well, no. You probably start looking to extend him during his third season because that fourth year, he was a second-round pick, so he doesn't have the fifth-year option. And they always want to extend guys a year prior to that final season. Yeah.
So after this season,
correct. After this season for Chase, Deontay, you will be looking to do an extension with him this year if you can get it done.
I wonder what the market is for both Godwin and Robinson. Godwin's weird because of the ACL. He's going to probably miss first month or so.
Yeah.
That might not be the best fit here if we have a young quarterback. I could see him signing somewhere that already has a veteran guy, and they could kind of wade through the waters in the first month or so.
Especially if you're Robinson. Imagine if you're coming out of the situation in Jacksonville where you were still, Blake Bortles was probably your best quarterback you had down there. And then you go to Chicago. You have Trubisky. You have Nick Foles for a little bit. You get Justin Fields for a little bit. Now you're trying to sell him on coming to Pittsburgh where we're like, hey, it could be Mason. It could be Haskins. It could be somebody we draft. Like, we don't really know. I just could see a scenario where though he might want to come here, it could be the simple case of, bro, I've been playing with average quarterback play my whole career. Let me get on with somebody. Whereas Woods, he could say, man, I've been with
that would be a trade anyway. That wouldn't even be his say.
True. But like at least with Woods, it's like you could see a scenario where he's like, man, I've had a golf, but I've also had a Stafford. I've been in Buffalo with some, little mixed bag. So he might not feel the same way or feel as if he has to get paired back up with a guy like that. He might just say, I want to go over there. I like the opportunity. I like the situation.
Yeah, especially if the Rams are trying to re-sign Odell. Then
right. Because that's the part that makes it interesting. And with Woods being hurt, he can't have that recency bias right now. Whereas everything Odell has done in this postseason and is going to continue to do, that is only going to drive his number up. That's only going to drive the feeling that, hey, we need to take care of him. We need to bring him back and we can move on from Woods. And that's part of the business of when a guy gets hurt and another guy comes in and he starts to play like how Odell's been playing of lately. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with any three of those dudes. Yeah. Each have their plus and minuses, I think, for the Steelers.
Now, I heard when you were saying that you would trade Claypool.
That's only if you brought in a dude like Robinson.
But what I was asking is this. At times we've talked about how Claypool, he's limited in the sense of he doesn't really create a ton of separation, doesn't really run a lot of routes. He's more of a 50-50 guy. Now, we know he has big play potential, but tapping into it consistently has proven very, very hard to do. Do you feel that Chase can develop even more so? Yeah. Whereas like when we talk about a guy like Allen, it's like, he's a little bit more of a proven commodity, but not necessarily where we necessarily want him to be right now. But we could just see like, hey, you know what? He's developed a lot more. He's further ahead than where Chase is right now, just as a player. Not necessarily as statistics, but as a player, we think he's a better player right now. Are you willing to risk that though? By bringing in one of these type of guys that we're talking about, if that would mean that we potentially get rid of Chase. Because that's the thing I think of as well. Like, was Chase inconsistent? Sure. Has Chase did he underwhelm this season compared to what we thought he should have done going into the season? Absolutely. But I don't know if I'm ready to just turn that page
on that
after
good contract
seasons,
too. Yeah, you're
he's
right.
on a rookie deal. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of just picking between those receivers and bringing them in, I think that would be the move to make. If you brought in Robinson, you trade Claypool, maybe get another style of receiver that contrasts with Deontay and Robinson. But would I do it? I don't know. Yeah, probably not for all the reasons that you brought up.
But
probably
then I also ask, do we feel like this
I still think there's untapped stuff with Claypool.
But then my other part of it is, do we feel like this because he's in-house? Like if he was in Cleveland, would we be talking about him as, he could develop? Would we just be saying, that's just a one right? He's a vertical guy. That's all he can do is go vertical, run stops, occasional slant route. Like that's the thing. While I'm, playing this mentality of keep him, trade him, upgrade the position. Like, that's some of the things.
No, he still has untapped potential, I think.
Yeah.
He just disappointed this season for me.
Yeah.
Just definitely disappointed. We'll see what he does in his third year.
Yeah. For me, I wouldn't give him one more. I would give him one more year. And then after that, I would start looking into some of the stuff we were talking about, whether you look to trade him. Yeah. Because, like
this receiver market's not anything crazy.
Yeah. Well, the two main guys we were talking about are both coming off ACL injuries on top of that. And there's no guarantee that, I mean, as we saw, like I said, with Devin and with Banner, and I bring them up because we had expectations for those guys, but as we saw, it was very different in terms of the results for both of those guys. It's no guarantee, it's no foregone conclusion that either one of these guys that we're referring to can just come in here and they're going to look great right off the, week one. So
I think the depth, from what I remember, in terms of the receiver market's a little bit better than the top guys.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't mind any of the top guys, but still, I think that's where you could get some of the value. From what I remember, at least. I don't want to go over it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to that too.
The thought of, dude, I keep coming back to this now. I keep thinking about this. You piqued my interest. Cordell Patterson, dude. I'm thinking about that.
Bro, he's versatile.
We could get him for like 5'6", and then maybe get like a speedster, like middle tier receiver. Like if we brought in like Emmanuel Sanders for maybe 3-4 as like a third or fourth receiver for us.
You have options.
Combine him with Cordell Patterson. I'd rather do that than just sign a Godwin.
Yeah.
But add some extra guys. I'm assuming that's all if we don't bring back Juju too, of course.
Very true. Interesting, though, man. Interesting. I like how that conversation went right there. So let's do this, man. Let's get to these supers, and after that, we'll go to the next topic. Sound good?
How many we got?
Should be.
Let me see if I got them on my phone.
I think I got a couple over here. And the first one might be blocked, but I took a picture of it earlier because I noticed how the shirt, whenever we pin a item in the chat, man, sometimes, it gets blocked out a little bit. So let me know what chat you have on your end, and we'll go from there. Ivan Victor should be the first one, though.
In terms of super chats?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even tell they pop up on the phone.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Wait. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Let me find out. Is that the main phone or is that the side phone?
No, this is my main phone.
Okay. What's the number for it again?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I just check it, man.
Yeah, 1-800. Don't worry about it. Okay, no, this is even worse than on the computer.
Yo, what just popped up on your phone, bro? Did somebody send you a picture? Where is that?
Stop.
Okay.
No, yeah.
619, bro. What?
No, this is even worse than the computer. It's so limited into what the chat is.
Okay. Well,
that's disappointing.
It's all love, man. It was worth a shot, though.
It was
worth a shot.
It was.
It happens to the best of us, baby. So I will rock off with this first chat right here, man, from Ivan Victor. Shout out to Ivan Victor. He says, first off, how Yin's doing this Monday? Well, first off, man, Yin's doing great, man. How about you, man? You feeling good?
Oh, feeling great.
Man, we like our threads. He's got the Vic one. I got the Manscaped one, so we're good to go, man. Can't complain here. He says, why can't we just enjoy football? Are we really fake fans for cheering for players and talent? Go, Joe.
Yeah. You exposed yourself.
Oh, he said, yo, I was going to lie to you. I was going to be like, nah, bro, you good. Honestly, Deke was like, nah, bro, you a fake fan. I was going to give you some love, okay, Ivan? Because I've been called a fake fan before, us fake fans have to stick together. so
I have too, though. I have too. Trust me. Everyone gets called fake fans.
So yes, you could root for anyone you want to. For me, I know my wife, man. She put out the tweet yesterday. I liked the tweet. We was congratulating the homie Mike Hill. She was like, babe, they trying to give me some flack. I said, hey, I don't care. I might even retweet it.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
You know what I'm saying, man? Because hey, bro, like we like certain players, and certain players we got personal connections with. So it's like that sometimes, baby. All right. We got Solo One. Solo One says, I think Art Rooney says something to him at the half after he hold on. Hey, Andy Reid. It's gotta be y'all be killing with these initials. It's just AR. AR has meant Andy Reid. It's meant Art Rooney. It's meant Art Rooney the second. I'm just like, yo, like KC can mean Kansas City Chiefs, can mean Kevin Colbert. This right. Y'all need to give me some. Can I get a little grammar? Help me out, please. Thank you.
Is it Reid?
Oh, I love. Yes, I'm believing it's Andy Reid though, because he says, I think Andy Reid says something to him at the half after the missed field goal opportunity. So I was like, Mr. Rooney wouldn't be talking to anyone, even though Mr. Rooney did speak this week, or he spoke, was at Thursday, Friday time frame? Because we were supposed to talk about it on Friday. Yeah, so, and we'll talk about that today, obviously, as well. But he says Andy Reid was highly upset about it in terms of the missed field goal opportunity. Something must have been said to change Pat. No, I do agree with that. After the game, you could hear Andy Reid talk about he was disappointed in the execution at that part. Obviously, he wanted to go for the field goal. He was calling for that. Mahomes said to him, like, I want to go and take this chance. Just trust me. Played out the way that it did. Mahomes goes on record saying that, hey, man, he made a bad decision in terms of forcing it to Tyreek versus throwing it away. It was a gamble. At the same time, I don't hate the decision, because how many times have we seen them come and be productive in those situations. We talk about how exotic their goal line and short yardage package is. So I don't fault them for going for it. Obviously, it looks bad after the fact, but in the moment, I didn't hate the decision when you're up 3 scores at the time as well. But I do think that it probably did have a little bit of, impact on Mahomes' mentality. But at the same time, who knows what he told him? If he goes in there and tells him, hey, make better decisions, and he comes out in the second half and he's playing hero ball, that's not making better decisions. Or if he says him, hey, man, we got to be better. You got to do better. Maybe he took that as I got to do more. We don't know. That's more so the speculation. That's why I ain't really trying to go down that route. But I could definitely see it, though, man. All right, Alex Mathis. Alex Mathis says, what do you guys think it would take to bring Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson? I think Deshaun Watson would be way too much. Love you guys. Keep it up. Yeah, Alex, in terms of the Aaron Rodgers element, it really depends on the situation in Green Bay. We hinted to it and we said, if it's a situation where they've already predetermined that, hey, it's a brother-in-law agreement, you're going to trade me after the season to a team that I want to go to, the asking price may be a lot lower. But if it's a scenario where the Packers don't have that and they're just like, yo, you're our quarterback, and if somebody wants you, they're going to have to give up a king's ransom.
Let us get the deal first, and we're going to ask you if you want to go to this team or not.
Yeah, if it's that scenario, yeah, we won't touch that. And the same could honestly be said with the Russell Wilson situation. I know it was speculation that he would be gone, but right now, I don't know. It looks like he's staying. That's what I was saying. It looks like he's having a change of heart. So that's the other dynamic with those two guys. And obviously with Deshaun, it's only too much. Well, technically, it's a lot. Just depending on which part you're talking about. You said it's too much. I ain't know which part you're talking about. If we're talking about the cost, yes, it could be very expensive or it could be very cheap. Just depending on,
You can take the risk right now before he's cleared, right?
Yeah, you can take, if you wanted to, you could get him right now for the cheap. I personally wouldn't take that chance, but you could. Or you could just wait, and then if you wait and everything gets cleared, then yes, that number is going to skyrocket. But at the same time,
do you think teams are going to be hesitant to trade for him, though?
Well, I don't think
certain teams will. I mean, we already heard this whole season, Dolphins, even Panthers,
in the midst of it. Yeah, and I do think obviously the Texans won't have the leverage because they know that he's already made it very clear he doesn't want to stay there. He doesn't want to play. He will never play another snap. So they're going to be eager to get a deal, but I don't think they're just going to take a cheap deal, a crappy deal, and do Deshaun any favors. Because if you're the Texans, why would you? If you're the Texans, you say, hey, I don't have to do any favors because, number one, you're putting us through this situation publicly, right? We weren't getting the massages. You were getting the massages. Number two, you decided that you weren't going to play for us anyways. You made that public. So once again, those are two things that you've done to make us look bad, to put us in a compromising situation and
basically tank our season.
Right. And your rebuttal is what? We didn't bring the personnel in that you wanted. We traded away a guy that you wanted here. And this is how this is how this thing went. So they could easily play hardball. And if I'm the Texans, why wouldn't I play hardball? If I've already had to rebuild my stuff anyways, I'm bringing in a new head coach. I've just switched my GM. Why should I allow this dude to just leave for crumbs? And now my franchise is hurt even more. And that's like your third thing that you did on the way out. Like, nah, I'm going to get as much as I can off of this situation if it works out the right way, just from a business perspective. Not even for just Deshaun. This is like the owner talk. That's the GM. Like, that's how they got him. That's how they gonna think, and they should, because it's not like they created it. Not that we have any proof of. I know it's been speculation, but we don't have any proof of that. So until there's proof, it's like, yeah, why give him that favor right now, man?
Yeah.
No,
he would probably be the most expensive if cleared, just because of where he's at in his career.
Yes,
now his contract, I can't say it sucks, but it's like par for the course for a franchise quarterback. It sucks for the organization.
No. His though, I still feel, because when
40,
he's right on, because he got his deal right before everything happened too. So like his market, like, because I was trying to make sure he didn't get paid too soon, before the market reset, before Dak and all those other guys started getting their newer deals and stuff like that. Because at the time, Mahomes was the only one with the big monster over 40, but then he was the next up.
It might have been reversed, but both Mahomes and Watson were in the 40.
Yeah. So
kind of sucks for an organization contract, but like I said, that's kind of par for the course. So if we traded for him, would that just eat all of our cap space up this offseason? Unless we finagle or restructure it, so then we're taking a way worse hit down the line. I don't know if I want that, but goes back to what I did say. If we did get one of these franchise guys, I'm not going to hate it because I do think there is something to bringing one of those guys in, elevates everyone else's play, but there's a cost. Yeah, there's going to be a cost from it's tough where we're at right now though. And what we're trying to do team building wise. Yeah. I just don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I really don't.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next topic then, man, because that was good, man.
You got Let's Go, UW?
I did not, man. You can pull him up. If he might just popped up at the end.
I got you. Did either of you see Vince Williams' tweets about how the traditional linebacker position is dead? And what do you think about that?
Well, this isn't no, put it like this. We've hinted to this at TG when he comes on, right? Terrence Garvin, when he's talked about it, you'll hear both of us say similar things in the sense of you have to have a defining characteristic. You're either a coverage linebacker or you're a linebacker that can rush the passer, or you're great against the run. In terms of the traditional linebacker, the whole traditional moniker of linebacker was just, big body, slow, downhill thumper. Yeah, the game has evolved. It's no different than like a fullback. Fullbacks have become H-backs now, right? Or exotic tight ends, guys that can block good, they can run routes, they can do all these different things now, right? That's how it evolved. So yes, the linebacker in the sense of what you might have thought as a Ray Lewis or even a Singletary and those type of guys, yes, the game has definitely shifted from that. And now it's more about the speed element. Can you cover? If you can't cover, can you rush the quarterback? If you can't rush the quarterback, man, we got surprised because now we can't keep you on the field every down. And that's what, in the traditional sense, that's what he's talking about. Because typically traditional linebackers are on the field, every single snap. Whereas now, hey, man, you out here for them run plays, but when it's passing downs, you got to get up out of here, man. And that is where it's at. But that's just as a whole, like I said, the NFL has evolved because it's definitely become more of basketball on grass. You got to be able to have one-on-ones. You got to be just a dope athlete. And, eventually they get back to the power style game. I mean, you see teams implement the running. I mean, obviously the Titans, they are a team that still works with the old school approach. The Patriots, they're a team. Even the Chiefs at times when they decided they were going to run the ball, like you can see teams flirt with it. Not everybody is committed to it full time, but that's just the give and take, the pros and cons with that situation right now, man.
Now, this is way off topic, but kind of a little bit because we were talking about contracts and stuff. I saw a tweet like Mahomes' deal really starts to hit in this following season. We got cap hits of $35 million. I can't tell if this was this year or not. 2022. I guess they're counting that for next year.
Yeah.
$35 million on the cap hit, then 46, 44, 46 million.
Yeah.
All on the cap hit there. I do wonder if at some point, because we were talking about Deshaun Watson's contract at $40 million, I do wonder if there's going to be a tipping point where paying a quarterback that much is just not worth it at all. No matter how good that quarterback is.
Mahomes is going to be the real barometer for that because Mahomes...
Dak at 42, right?
Because like the Dak deal, I just look at it as he was the residual of Mahomes. He was the ripple effect of Mahomes. Mahomes getting that deal, Deshaun getting that deal, it set the bar that you had to get 40 or more. That's just what it was. That was part of the reason why Baker didn't get his deal done because it's like, that's the new market. But we're like, hey, you're not playing to that level. But as we said, it's not about that level. Is just about what the market is. So with Dak, I don't even view him as a $40 million quarterback in the same vein as we're talking about a Deshaun Watson and a Patrick Mahomes. So that's why I'm like, if we see Patrick start to struggle, if we see Patrick not be able to elevate, especially 2 years from now when the talent starts to leave because you can't pay all these guys offensively and defensively, that's when it becomes, okay, are you Aaron Rodgers type where, you're going to be good, but you're not going to be enough to get it over the hump consistently, or do you become Brady where it's like, man, you find a way to take less and win with guys around him?
He'd have to restructure his deals and stuff because Brady had like top 15
seriously, dude,
quarterback contracts at the time, top 20.
So it's like one of the other things, and Mahomes still could do that in terms when you start talking restructures and stuff like that. They have that, but we know with restructuring, it's going to get you on the back end, and eventually you hope that his play continues and it teeters off slowly over time so it doesn't feel like this cap hit is really a conversation right now because up until then, it really hasn't been. You're never talking about Mahomes' contract situation because his play has been above reproach in some standpoints. But as that number continues to balloon and that talent around him starts to decrease, that's really going to become like I said, that line of, is this really what is, this what we're doing with these quarterbacks right now?
Yeah. The Stafford types then maybe be the best option at that point. I mean, even Brady this year, he's $25 million.
Exactly, man.
$25 million. Threw for over 5,000 yards and 43 touchdowns or whatever. So maybe that could be like the perfect spot where you want to try to find your quarterback value at. And that could be good for us because maybe we see how the market plays out and we have these next 3 or 4 years to make those big-time decisions.
Nah, without a doubt, man. All right, so the next topic, man, this was a pleasant surprise right here, but we got 2 Pro Bowlers added to the list, man. Cincinnati Bengals obviously, going to the Super Bowl opened up 2 slots because Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase were Pro Bowlers as well. So now that they are off the list in terms of being able to participate in the game, we have 2 of our guys, Najee Harris, rookie running back, and Deontay Johnson, both getting the nod in terms of being Pro Bowlers now. So to me, man, I think that was really good, man. Definitely for Najee, I think that his play, I didn't think that the initial Pro Bowl roster, I didn't think that he should have been on that, but I do like him as an alternate going in.
Deserving.
I definitely thought that he was worth that. I thought he was deserving of that. Deontay is the mixed bag because we know Deontay as a whole, if you're talking about the season, was really good. It just ended with a bad taste in the mouth because the drops came back. But as a whole, I thought Deontay had an excellent season, man. In some cases, even rose his play up. But like we said, we know the ending of it definitely left a foul taste in our mouth, man. But I definitely think that both of those guys deserve that recognition, though.
Well, I'm with you. Wish it wasn't in this fashion that they made the Pro Bowl. Yeah. But I remember at the time, I definitely felt like Deontay got snubbed. It was, 3 or 4 weeks before the season ended, whenever they made the Pro Bowl announcements? Because at that point, he was ahead of a couple receivers in yards. I know the main one. I could throw Diggs in there, but Diggs had more touchdowns. Yeah. But he had more yards than Keenan Allen. He had more touchdowns at the time, too. And it actually still holds up right now because I'm looking at the stats. He has more receptions than Keenan Allen. 1,161 yards, 8 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 1,138 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he had the stats. I always thought he was deserving right off the bat. But it's weird because right now, I'm not as... I don't feel as gun-ho about his Pro Bowl nod because of how the season ended. You're right. Yeah. A couple critical drops late in regular game seasons, but also the playoffs. The playoffs is one of those things you can't really unsee. Still deserving. Like if someone's going to get in, I'm really happy that he got in. Yeah, because it's still the season in and of itself, start to finish, deserving of a Pro Bowl.
Right, the full body of work,
definitely. And even without him getting as a reserve, I think he should have got in just straight off the bat. Yeah,
and I know in this moment right now it feels cheapened because it's like, man, you're an alternate, you didn't get the initial nod, but man, when we're talking about this thing down the line, we're not bringing up. I know you try to bring it up, but when we talking, it's like, bro, nobody's bringing that up, man.
I mean, for Teddy Bridgewater and
but the reason why no one brings it up because it's like we know why you bring it up. It's a hate move. It's kind of like when people say, "Well, Ben don't have MVP." You're like, "Well, it don't matter." Now, you know what I mean? Like we know how this goes, bro. We know how this goes, bro.
But I think we both can we both agree? We think Najee and Deontay getting the Pro Bowl this year is more deserving of some quarterbacks in the past. Because Najee's like top 5 in running back statistics across the board.
And Deontay too. The context is different though because now we got to play that game of okay, who's ever had an alternate Pro Bowl? Has Ben ever had an alternate Pro Bowl selection?
I don't know.
Because that's what we open up. That's all.
Ooh, but I think with some of those guys, it was like 3 or 4 guys.
But it's like, I get it. It
was like all 3 Pro Bowl starters.
But think about this right now, right? For the AFC quarterback, it's going to be the same thing, right? You're not getting, right now, Mahomes, I think, is on the roster and one other quarterback.
Is it Herbert?
It might be Herbert, yeah, because Allen and Lamar pulled out. No, Allen and Lamar said they're not playing in it. They've already said that. We know Joe Burrow's not because he's in the Super Bowl now.
Who's the replacement?
You see what I'm saying?
We know about the replacement?
Like, that's 3 guys right there. Yeah.
Is Ben getting in? I would have known.
Oh, it counts then, huh?
Exactly. I would have known.
That's my thing, man. I just think, man, alternate or not, and it doesn't.
Oh my, it's Mac Jones. Come on, man.
Wow. But look, we just named 3 guys to put on right there, right? But I don't think it takes away.
The Deontay and Najee feel right. The Mac Jones Pro Bowl because you just named Josh Allen, Lamar. Nah.
But what's the difference? Mac was balling this year. Mac led his team to the postseason this year as a rookie this year. 1 year away from their team not even making the playoffs. I mean, let's be real, man.
This doesn't feel right.
Mac did what he was supposed to do, bro.
Ben was snubbed, dude. This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace.
That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Hey, man.
I do feel like Deontay should have got in off the bat.
Okay.
So that's the one thing with him. But Najee, I agreed with you. Whenever I saw the 3 running backs for AFC, I was like, I don't really think he's going to he's had a good season, but over those three, I can't really make that big of a case. But he finished the season solid, and if you're gonna have a first alternate, he's got
to be the guy, right? He's got to be the guy.
Absolutely, because like I said, top 5 across the board, and like all the rushing stats and the O-line that he had to deal with this year, for sure. Yeah, so good for both of them.
Well, and the other part, going back to the quarterback situation, in all seriousness, the reason why I don't necessarily discount those Pro Bowls is this. When we talk franchise quarterbacks, we've already said it's only 7 guys max every season. 7 guys, and it's typically the same 5 to 7 guys every season. So if we already know 2 of those guys, but think about this though. If you already know 2. It says 7 guys, right? We're gonna do math. 7 guys. 2 guys automatically removed every year because they're going to the Super Bowl. Okay, so we know that. Now you got 5 guys left. If we're assuming that of these 5, they're always in the conversation postseason, okay, probably 2 more of them are going to pull out because they just got out of a playoff game. They just got beat. Case in point, Josh Allen. We know with Lamar they lost, but obviously he was hurt going into it. But those are 2 guys. So you're looking at realistically 3 quarterbacks. If 3 of those guys stay on the roster, which we're already pointing to in terms of right now saying Mahomes and Herbert, we don't got any more franchise level quarterbacks. So that's the next tier you go to. And all it takes is for one of those guys to have that better season, have an okay season, or just hey man, he was top 15 this year instead of being top 20 this year. That'll get a guy in like that.
Am I missing something?
What do you think about?
Wait, am I missing something here? They didn't give it to Derek Carr?
Check on it. Let's see.
Because, I mean, Derek Carr definitely deserves over Mac Jones, if I'm going to make that comparison. We would have heard something, though, right?
Just Google it. Just type in the names. Yeah.
They gave it to Derek Carr, but he backed out. Because that doesn't make sense to me. No. In terms of...
Because all I'm saying is...
Hunter Renfrow made the Pro Bowl. Wow.
But this is my thing. Like, if not Mac Jones, then who's the next guy that we're gonna say? Because that's my only issue. Like when we go in this route of Mac Jones a bum and this and that, who are we saying was a better player than him that should have been in the Pro Bowl this season? Not based on full body work, just this season. So he's a good example. Yeah, did he pull out? Because if he pulled out, that's another part of it. Like
I don't think he was in. Did he get the invite and say no? I'm not 100% sure on that. That one's strange to me.
Yeah. He's definitely strange. The Carr part is strange.
Yeah. I would say Carr's more deserving than Mac Jones.
And what was Carr's numbers compared to Jones this year? Because I know
Carr almost led the league in passing. 4,800 yards.
Yeah, he balled. How many touchdowns?
His touchdown interception ratio is not that good. 23-14.
And Mac Jones, what, 20? Was it 22-11? 22-12?
Is that where it is?
He was like 2-1 as well. Yeah.
Carr's got the gaudy yards though. The 4,800. Raiders up and down season with all their scenarios that were going on. I would give it to Carr over him.
Now, who do you think had? See, for me, I'm stuck between the storylines with Carr versus how hard of it was. Like, which situation was better in the terms of like going into this year? Do we think the Patriots had a better situation, or we thought the Raiders had a better situation? You know what I mean? But
man, it's already Raiders, popping up on Max Pro Football Reference. Yeah, man.
Bro,
it says
I'm telling you, man.
One-time Pro Bowl. Come on, man.
All right, what about Ryan Tannehill? He's another name that I saw. They said, what about Ryan Tannehill over Mac Jones?
I don't got to check his stats now.
But I feel like
he had a bad season, though,
but
too.
I also feel like that's. But I feel like that's a reach. Also, we started throwing him in there, and that's why I like. How can I discredit Mac Jones when the names we're pulling up to say who should be over him is Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill? Like, they're all in the same boat to me. Now, Carr is definitely the higher end of that. I think Tannehill should be second and then Mac. But based on this season, Mac played well. Mac had a situation where he went in there and turned that franchise back around, made everybody start talking about Belichick and the Patriots again. Like, that's a part of it.
How about we give it to the guy who led the league in game-winning drives? How about we do that?
Uh-oh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Talk about that, man.
7 got snubbed.
Talk about that.
I'm serious. If we're doing Mac Jones, why isn't Ben in? Why aren't we giving it to him? You want to go through the stats? They're pretty much damn the same, if not more in Ben's favor.
I just know
plus the game-winning drives. Dealing with that O-line, Mac Jones didn't have to deal with the O-line Ben was dealing with.
I'm not going there with you.
So that's where I have my rankings there for Pro Bowl alternates. You give it to Ben. I would have understood Carr though. Like legitimately, I would have understood Carr. I wouldn't be going crazy if it was Carr. But if you're doing Mac Jones, Ben should be in. What's going on here? If you're gonna do Mac,
Carson Wentz should have been over Ben. Come on, bro, stop it.
Wentz.
Stop it, bro.
Here's what I'll say though. No, here's what I'll say. Yeah. You could look at the stats because Carson Wentz probably did have a pretty decent statistical season.
Yeah.
Came down to it. last game, win to get in. Who won? That's all I'm saying. Dude.
But we can't go that route because those are two different arguments. Now we're talking about like your team's performance and can you get your team over the hump? And
Wentz was the reason they lost, though. That was pitiful. Ben's the reason we won.
But Ben's also the reason we lost some games too, though.
I'd say more line. If we're gonna talk, the one game that sticks out to me. No, I'm being serious.
All right, I'm listening.
Bengals game, beginning of the season, Ben.
Oh man,
because he had that bad pick coming right out of halftime, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of some other scenarios here, man. I know he had some blowouts. I think that was just really bad team related. Now Ben did the other Bengals game. You could throw that in there because he had a couple bad picks in that one. Not completely his fault. The one was miscommunication with Claypool. Man, it's crazy how I remember all this.
What, though? You know what?
I can remember all this.
He's a Pro Bowler every year in your heart. That's all that matters. Okay?
He got snubbed here, dude.
You keep fighting that fight for 7, okay? You keep fighting that fight. Thank you, 7. In fact, y'all make sure y'all get them hats, man. Thank you, 7, man. I'm coming on my hat on, man. Every time you say something, thank you, 7. Just put it on my head, baby.
You copping
yes,
one?
Indeed. I am because of you, bro. I feel like I have to. You know.
I never liked that phrase. I never came around to it.
That's why I love it.
Didn't really like it. People were saying that like 3 weeks left in the season. I didn't like it.
Yeah. TG said it before that. He was like,
probably.
7. I was like, Lord, stop it, bro. I like it, though. I like it. All right. But, yep, that is the situation with those two guys being in the Pro Bowl, though, man. Yeah, and let's see. Do we have any? We had 2 supers that came in reference to that. It should be H&M Tavy.
Yeah, I got
because we ended with Let's Go UW about Vince Williams. So, yeah.
I got it. Najee deserved that. I still want Leonard Fournette as a 1-2 punch. Ooh, that'll be scary.
That'd be filthy. Well, no, because Fournette definitely has burst, though, so I ain't tripping on that. Ooh, that'd be tough. How you like the hands, though? Najee could definitely catch, though. We're good.
I think Fournette's proven to be a pretty good catcher.
Actually, excuse me, because he had 70 receptions a year ago down
in Jacksonville. No, in Jacksonville, he had like 70.
Yeah, excuse me.
And then even think of last postseason. I haven't been following the Bucs that much this season to see what he's doing. I know his stats are pretty decent, but in that playoff run, he had some really nice pass catches.
And he run that rock. He run
that.
Oh,
him or Patterson.
He does perform well in Pittsburgh too. He's like
oh man,
I know it hurt me to say it. I was thinking like
that was.
He got 2 performances on us right here at Heinz. Lord.
He basically like that playoff game. He basically acted like a Steeler running back against us.
He did, and we hated it because listen, when you talk about when you talk about us and Mike Mitch, his action was because of like all of our energy towards Fournette leading up. It was like, yo, you. We don't care about none of this. We finna whoop you, your homies. It was a Robinson. This the left tackle. We want to smoke with him. Like we that was our energy, and that was one of them. You think you're gonna win the fight, and you get in that fight, and you like, bro, we ain't winning this fight right now. It was one of them situations. It happens to the best of us. Even Mike Tyson got beat. All right, so if Tyson get beat, anybody can get beat. That was one of the ones we got beat up. It happens. And it just happened that your boy, 7, was jabbing, he was sticking and moving, but he couldn't knock him out for us. It was like 7, beat him up, bro. We caught our big brother. Like I cost like 7, bro. Big
the fake
please,
pitch.
Can you please help us? You see us getting whooped right now. Help us, please. And it just didn't work, bro.
Samurai Finn says Pro Bowls, All Pros, MVPs shouldn't be counted for legacy. Too much of its popularity contests and narratives. Stats are way more important.
I agree with everything except the all-pro element of it. I don't agree with the all-pro element just because I do know it is a little bit more of the football minds, and they hold more weight in terms of the football minds voting on the all-pros, whereas with the Pro Bowls, yes, the fan vote definitely has a role in it. We know the popularity around the league. It has a role in it. Definitely. Even regular season, the MVP stuff. Yes. I just feel like postseason stuff. I feel like the all pro stuff is just, a little bit, we hold in a little bit higher of a regard.
To your point, I remember the one time, Tyrann Mathieu didn't make a Pro Bowl, but he made an all pro.
Yeah.
And Tyrann Mathieu has been a stud throughout his career.
And it's a lot of dudes low key that have that.
But I don't think Ben got any all pros throughout his career, so he got snubbed. I mean, I don't know if we can count that
because
these people don't know the game.
You can't depend on Steeler Nation to get you into the all pros. You can't depend on the alternate to get you into all pros. It's like you got to be the best top 2 guys. That's all they taking. Number 1 guy, number 2 guy in the whole NFL. And it silences all that conference talk. It silences all that, he just, got lucky in this situation. It's like, no. These are the top 2 guys. That's it. You either first team or you second team. That's it.
People have been watching these games without glasses for too long. At least the Steeler games.
Every year, too. Because like you said, it's long. 18 years, bro. It's a long year, man. Long time.
Sucks. Damon Brown. Deke, you got to let Seven go. When should he retire? Once his neck and back are broken? Come on now. You're being selfish.
No.
What about Ben's long-term health? What are we talking about? Is he talking about just for playing in the Pro Bowl?
when Ben goes down and Ben's body is completely crumbled, Deke is going to be happy. It's going to be like Misery. He's going to take Ben. He's going to put Ben in the bed, and he's going to strap Ben in. He's like, tell me all the favorite quarterback stories. We're going to watch film today. We're going to go play catch in the backyard. Oh, Ben, you're trying to leave? Okay, let me get Mr. Hammer here. You know, like, that's the energy Deke gonna be on, okay? This is all a part of his big match. And then, God forbid, when Seven does go off into the sunset and, you know, we lay him to rest, it's gonna be like the Bates Motel. Deke is gonna continue to keep Ben's body there. He'll sit it in like this throne at one end of the kitchen, and they'll come down to eat dinner at a time. He's gonna invite me over like, yo, Moats trying to shoot the podcast. Come over to the crib. We're gonna eat pregame. I'm put like, yo, Seven, boy, you look a little different. Not as, you know, alive, but I get it though. And then Deke will be over there like, hey, Seven, man, tell me another story. Like, he'll have the highlights playing the whole time. That's the situation. That's how it's going to be, okay? I'm just giving y'all the heads up now.
No, that's some weird shit, man. No, dude, he's retiring. I'm good. I mean, if we're just talking about this Pro Bowl, though, right? Come on. Just make a case for the guy that's got the most game-winning drive. That's all. What I'm saying, man. If the stats are similar, they were stats. You're giving it to Mac Jones.
The GOAT.
I wouldn't have been against Derek Carr. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't have said anything if they would have given it to Derek Carr.
If they had to race for it, Big Ben, Mac Jones, 20-yard sprint, who wins it?
Oh,
race for the Pro Bowl, 20-yard sprint. What you got? I only said 20.
I think Mac got it. All
right, we gotta roll it back there, bro. All right, well, that was our Pro Bowl talk right there. Oh man, you are funny, bro. You are funny.
What's the next topic?
The next though, man, we had this. This is a official, but an oldie. But we were supposed to talk about it on Friday. Basically, the news of Kevin Colbert officially being on retirement or officially retiring after the 2022 NFL draft. We didn't get a chance to address it, but I think this was either Thursday afternoon, because we we're going to talk about it Friday morning.
Yeah.
Mr. Rooney, Steelers president, was doing his, you know, end of the year State of the Union, address the Steelers and all that good stuff. And he was asked about the Kevin Colbert GM situation, and he basically said that yes, the reports are true. Remember, we had, is it confirmed? Because people started to refute it a little bit right afterwards. But it is confirmed that after the 2022 NFL draft, the Kevin Colbert will be retiring from that role with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, he also said, in terms of Mr. Rooney, a couple of things here. He said that they're actively looking to fill that role as soon as possible. They've also already interviewed Brandon Hunt and Omar Khan. I forgot, it was one other candidate that they were either bringing in for a visit or they had already talked to. I got to check it out again. I'm totally drawing a blank on him.
Okay.
But I did think it was a little interesting. I did like it, and I think it was interesting in the sense of the fact that they've already started the interview process with Brandon Hunt and Omar Khan, because prior to Mr. Rooney saying that, up until then, we didn't know that they had actually interviewed for the job. We just knew that, hey, these are the in-house candidates. These are the guys that, you know, people are recommending, but we had no real talk about that definitively happening. We knew that they interviewed outside the organization thus far in terms of both of those guys, but it was good to know that they've already at least interviewed them once. Now, in terms of the timing of it, now we talked about why the timing of it was before, but has that changed your feeling in terms of him staying on and retiring right after the draft this year versus having the other GM, his successor, being the main guy running point with all that stuff?
Oof.
Because we said we could have a little bit of a, you know, different of opinion, different of style in terms of what type of guys this GM might be looking for versus this other guy. So yeah.
If we brought someone from the outside, I'd have to assume they're the one making the calls for the draft.
Okay.
Colbert's around to help out. So if that's the case, I don't really care.
Okay.
If it's Colbert making the calls, we bring in an outside guy, I'd prefer it just to be the outside guy from here on out to make the calls for the draft, right? To help build his team.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would assume, and we've mentioned Colbert would be very accommodating for that type of scenario.
Right.
Now, if it's one of these in-house guys, yeah, Colbert can stay on. I don't think that matters. I really don't. I think it's like all them working in unison as they have been up to this point.
Yeah, and you don't have a stance one way or the other in terms of it needing to be in-house versus wanting to go out of house. Okay,
I don't, because this is just all new territory right now. And the two guys that we are interviewing, and Hunt and Kahn, they're both really qualified.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can really go wrong either way. One has a specialty in one with the scouting with Brandon Hunt. Kahn, the numbers guy. What do you want to pick? Just pick your poison. If you're gonna bring in someone from the outside, I don't know. It's just all new.
Yeah,
like I'm not opposed to that either, just as something fresh, because we're starting a new era at quarterback here, starting a new era at GM in a way. So I could see someone just coming in with a fresh set of eyes and helping out, and that being a good decision from the organization standpoint. So this is all up in the air. As long as it's someone that's qualified, not someone like some rando, which I'm assuming it wouldn't be the case. Yeah. I don't think we can really make a wrong move right now.
I like the mindset right there. For me, man, I share the sentiment of whoever you bring in, and I will take it a step further. Even if it's in-house and we're talking Brandon Hunt and Omar Khan, I do think whoever you decide, in terms of the Steelers, whoever they decide is going to be the successor, personally, I want them taking the point throughout the whole offseason.
Yeah.
I want Colbert to more so be the kind of like a fairy godfather in the sense of, hey, man, this is how we do it. But if you want to do it a different way, I understand it. This is what I've learned. These are the pros and cons of this approach, but you can still do it this way. No different when we talk about streaming, right? We're like, hey, you can stream through OBS. You can stream through, this software, that software. It's like, it's multiple ways to do it, but this is what we think works. This is our method. So as long as it's like that, I'm cool either way. I just don't want it to be, okay, if it's in-house, Colbert is going to be the point guy and Hunt or Khan have to deal with what is ever left over, because just because you worked with the guy and worked for a guy for a long time doesn't mean we share the same opinions. I mean, me and you, for example, right? We've been doing this thing for a couple of years now, but we still split on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So I could see that scenario, and that's why I just feel like I would just want whoever that new guy is to be the point guy, because it's nothing worse a year from now, 2 years from now, that person's having to be on the hook and have to be judged by what Colbert did on the way out. And that's the part where I'm just like, I don't think that is the best for the team, or more importantly for that GM who is going to be taking over in a very difficult situation in terms of the timing of it, not having the franchise quarterback currently right now, or at least we don't know, right? You got to give a little, it's like the prerequisite so you don't cancel out Mason and Haskins and Dobbs. We don't know. But, it looks like it could be a little bit of an extensive search a little bit. So to me, I just think that whoever that new GM is, they should be able to, be the main guy.
I'm with you. Yeah. Ultimately, I would like whoever the GM is going to be for the future to make the calls, because you're going to have to live with it. I'm just not opposed for Colbert hanging around.
Now, Q says, and shout out to Q, he says he's not a fan of having Colbert do the draft this year. I wonder why. Now, Q, I know you're going to little delay right here, but let us know why you're not a fan of Colbert staying on for the draft. And if anyone else isn't a fan of Kevin Colbert staying on up until the 2022 draft, if you think he should leave now, kind of like the Adrian Clem situation, right? Don't sting around. Don't be a distraction. If you think that he should be gone sooner than the draft, let us know in the comment section.
Could that still happen?
Yeah, absolutely could if they chose to. I don't think they would, solely because when Mr. Rooney speaks, they like to have that unified voice. So you remember a year ago when the tone was, we're going to fix the run game, everything was, we're going to fix the run game. When you hear Mr. Rooney say that, hey, man, the run defense is going to be improved, you're going to hear every person say the run defense is going to be improved. So you hear Mr. Rooney say he's going to stay on until, after the 2022 draft. Hearing him say that is just like, yo, that's the voice. Everybody else falls in line with that.
Okay. Yeah. Mike T for GM from Myron Bennett. We did bring that up.
We definitely did, man. We definitely did.
I'm not opposed,
because he's already done similar things, and they use him, Colbert, the scouting department, Hunt. All those guys are involved in it together, and you hear them talk about that, especially during the draft. It's like, hey, not one person just picked this guy. We all did collectively. It's kind of like the what do they say? It's the sum, right? It's not a one person thing. It's all of us working together type situation.
Now, so Farron brings up a point here, or question. Now, I'm still waiting for Q's answer. I'm looking for it.
Okay.
Farron Bradford says, do you guys see a change in draft philosophy with our new GM? Or do you think we keep doing what we've been doing?
That's the part where the actual
so no linebacker this year.
Right. Well, tell you, it's got to be linebacker. That's what we always do. We always go defense.
We actually need it. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think it really depends on the person's approach, because Colbert is not a big analytics guy. He is more of an eyeball test guy. He's more of I'm gonna cut the tape on. If I think this guy can play, I'm bringing him in. That's how you get a James Harrison, who doesn't necessarily fit the mold of edge rusher, but he can play. That's how you get Javon Hargrave, who may be undersized playing on the inside, but because of his quickness, he's able to do this. That's how you get that type of, just guys over exceeding and just doing more than what people would assume they could do just based on their measurables. Whereas you have other GMs that they believe that analytics is gospel. They feel like you have to be X height, X weight, run this, bench that, and if you can't, they just don't want to take a chance on you. Even though those guys, they still have flaws. They still show that, hey man, they can't play, and guys like us that aren't necessarily going to pass every eyeball test could still beat those guys out. I just think that's going to be the big difference in terms of, what type of guy we're getting, because just because a guy is young doesn't mean that he's an analytics guy. Some young guys are still eyeball test guys, but on the flip side, you do have to worry about that, because that is very different than what our approach has been here in Pittsburgh.
I'd be remiss if I didn't read this comment. This is great. Well, Q answered too. I got his comment.
He did? Okay, bet.
LeBron James, he says, Ben for GM and QB1, the next Jackie Moon.
You know what?
Halftime, like what was he doing?
He was doing the halftime show and everything. He was the owner, the coach.
Was it hot dogs? Yeah. He was sending hot dogs into the stands and stuff. Like if they win or
and
they
he's like,
lose.
we can't score by too many points though. All right, guys, no, stop it.
Here's Q. He says, I just feel knowing that Colbert is leaving, the person making the decisions should be the one who's going to be there long term. So kind of what we said.
Yeah. They say the only
it doesn't have to be that complicated. That's a valid reason.
Like I said, I would like Colbert to be there just as an extra resource, just as,
right.
Hey, I can show you how to do all this right here, hand in hand, but you still get your chance to be you. You are the voice. I'm just.
It was corn dogs. It was corn dogs with Jackie, man.
That thing was crazy though, bro. That's what it was. He was dead serious too. Like, yo, y'all gotta stop. Like, we can't afford all that. Stop it. Yeah. Heck yeah, bro.
Anything else on this topic? Well, hold on. Here's more for from Farron Bradford right here. So would you agree that we need more analytics in our drafting process? Because we need more athletes in our secondary, and analytics would have told us not to pick Green.
Well, this is the thing, though. When you talk analytics, we've done that with the draft.
Would have told us not
that's
to take Green.
Justin Lane. Justin Lane is perfect analytics in terms of his size, the speed. That's some of the stuff you got to worry about, though, man. Like, whew.
AB went 6th round.
Yeah. No, it's plenty of like.
None of this is science.
It's never perfect. It's never perfect, man, without a doubt. But for me, I'm biased because I'm a product of eyeball tests. I'm a product of non-analytics. So when you hear me speak on it, I don't really love analytics, because loving analytics takes a guy like me out of this situation. But at the same time, I do think that they both play a part. I think that you still have to test well. You still have to have something, about you athletic where you're like, you know what, that can work. But that's why you have to trust the guy's eyes. And for Colbert, you don't last that long without being able to, toe that line a little bit, because you think of the talent that he's accumulated here, offensively, defensively, special teams, for how long he's been here. We've never felt like, man, the cupboard's been empty. We always feel like we got some dogs, always. And that's a big part of what he's been able to do, finding that fine balance between analytics versus just eyeball tests. So I'm hoping that this next guy can follow in that same suit, that same suit, though, man.
Colbert would be a great guy to have around as, like you said, the fairy godfather.
Absolutely, man. You
because
need a guy like that.
It could be one of those scenarios.
Yeah.
Where it's a learning lesson for the new GM. So say like Colbert, you're talking about a player.
Right.
Colbert says, I like this and this about this guy. There's something about him where I'd be looking to draft him in maybe the 2nd or 3rd round. But the GM doesn't really like him as much, but ultimately goes with his gut, and then can look back in a year or two and like, all right, Colbert gave me the reasoning as to why, and maybe that guy ended up working out on another team.
And then
it could be a learning lesson. Yeah. Exactly.
No, absolutely.
Ultimately, you want him making the decisions, the new GM, whoever it is.
And he's going to have mistakes. There could be some help He's going to have bad picks. It happens. I mean, dude, we brought up Justin Lane. Justin Lane is still under Kevin Colbert's draft part, right? But it doesn't take away from, as a whole, what we've seen from Kevin when he comes to drafting. So for me, man, I think same thing right in this concept, man. It's the whole analytics versus like eyeball test. That's like a legit thing, bro. That's so legit.
This one might be more.
Do you
for
have a
the
preference
chat.
though?
Me?
Yeah.
In
terms of like the approach?
Eyeball test. Because no, I'm serious. Tyrann Mathieu, I was really big on coming out of college. Dude just made plays. Goes in the third round. They were worried about his size. I know some of it was off the field stuff too, but
a lot of it was size related.
Dude could just play.
Remember, they even said it about KD. Great, different sport, but they were like, he's too weak. Kevin Durant. He said, he can't bench 185 pounds one time.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu's the one example that I bring up with that. If the dude can play, he can play. You just want him.
Yeah, I'm definitely cut on the film type of guy. If a guy can play, he's productive. And
you're seeing it with Nick Bolton even now with the Chiefs. Like, dude, underside.
Nick can hoop, bro. He is nice. I like his game, bro. But we were already high on him either way coming into the draft. This is a guy that we looked at. So yeah.
But maybe he would have went higher if it wasn't for him being a little bit on the shorter side. Yeah. A little stockier.
And he didn't test as fast. Like, he wasn't a blazer. Like, he still tested well, but it wasn't like when we talk about some of the freaky athlete type guys as well.
But that's what we talked about when we were discussing him. We were like, this guy's just kind of like a football player.
He just balls, bro. You cut
his
the tape when he makes
upside
plays,
may not be there, but you're seeing it right there. He's been a key part of their defense. Dude,
he's been making a ton of plays all year for them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one might be more for the chat.
Okay, what you got?
But hold on, yeah.
Because after that, I'll go to the next.
Donald Copeland brings this up. He says Colbert never took risks in free agency until like 2-3 years ago on his way out.
Yeah.
Now that's been the case for pretty much his Colbert's GM career. I wonder, is that more of a Colbert thing or a Steeler thing? No, I don't remember what was happening in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, I don't know as a whole. I know when I got there. Yeah, because Mike Mitch, because we came at the same time, he was like the big like free agent signing at the time where it was we've never done this before. This is the first time we've ever, spent that type of money on somebody outside the organization. But yeah, outside of that, I never heard a lot of, them paying big. Now, I know part of the reason what they told me, and it wasn't like, this wasn't during negotiations. This was after I had already joined the team, I already signed my extension and everything like that. I was asking like, what's the difference, in terms of paying guys once they're already in the organization versus guys outside. And they said more so they know the guys that are in-house. So it's like you don't have to deal with, hey, we paid this guy, but he wasn't a fit. LeGarrette Blount example, you know what I mean? Where even though on paper everything said it should have worked out, you get him in-house and you're just like, bro, we're already in bed with this guy and it's not a fit. That was another part of it in terms of why they don't like to just shell out a ton of money. Also, I mean, you think about when they've been wrong, right? We talked about Ladarius Green. He also is a guy that came in right after me, Mike Mitch, Darius Hayward, Bay in terms of that free agency group. And you saw he was another guy that got paid substantially, but we found out that, hey, when we got here, he was a little bit damaged goods in terms of the injury history, the concussion stuff that he was dealing with from the Chargers. So that's a legit reason why they don't necessarily love to go out there and big spend free agency. Even this year, we saw a prime example. Melvin Ingram. We didn't spend big, but what happened? We went outside. We thought that it would work. It doesn't mix personality-wise. And what do we say? We don't want hostages. We want volunteers. So we move them. But you can't get that money back once you move them. You know what I mean? Once you already give them that deal. So that's another part of why they like to build in the draft, why they like to keep it all in-house. Even when you're talking about their coaches, they say, man, culturally, we know our coaches. We know what we're teaching in the building, and we don't have to necessarily worry about if this guy culturally doesn't fit with our message, if this guy culturally doesn't talk the language that we speak or philosophy-wise is different. And like I said, it's pros and cons to that. Right. It's pros to everything being in-house. It's pros to everybody being under the same message.
Joe Hayden was a good fit. D'Angelo
it's pros
Williams
to
was
that.
A good
Absolutely.
Fit, yeah.
It's pros to, but at the same time, it's dangerous because you never introduce any new ideas. You never introduce anything different. You never get a chance to say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is the wrinkle that takes us from being just sustainably good to now we can hop back in this great conversation. Those are some of the things that you have to guard against with that. And that's just the
when you get a dude
like
and it could be a fit, it could be big time though. Because I think Ferrier came over from the Jets and it was
perfect, bro. Yeah,
one of our big time leaders on those Super Bowl defenses. Man. Now Bilo brings up some '90s talk here. says we brought in Kevin Green
Mm-hmm.
and traded for Bettis, but that's about it for big names in the 90s. So those were good. If you
Yeah.
could do it and it's a fit, like it could work out amazing
Right.
because those are two perfect fits for the Steelers right there.
Yeah, because otherwise I feel like you flirt with potentially on that. I'm seeing them bringing up Ryan Clark as well.
Yeah.
But I just the thing that I'm worried about with that is for every Rams team out there that is going all in, paying for these guys, bringing them in, I can point to a Cleveland, I can point to a Houston, I can point to a Jacksonville where they tried that same exact model of we're going to spend Detroit Lions. They're going to spend big, get these guys in there, and it does not equate to success. Even in Buffalo, we did it for a year. Remember, Mario Williams, the first $100 million defensive contract, that was us. We gave that in Buffalo. Remember, I tell you the story all the time. We were hosting them. Like, take you out. Got to make it look nice for you, your girlfriend. You ain't stay with your girl, but we're going to make it. That's what you got to do, right? But it doesn't always equate and it doesn't always fit. And, like I said, man, that's just that part that you got to toe that line a little bit, man. It's a risk either way, though. And that's why I always say, like, you can't just make a decision on a guy for one bad or one good pick. You got to see, like, what's your full body of work? Because you're going to have an occasional, hey, this didn't work. But I need to see, like, okay,
Belichick
for everyone.
might be the worst GM of all time.
Like, seriously, you look at his, like, yo, it's bad at times. It definitely is. But that's the part for me why I'm like, man, with some of these guys, with their approaches, like, I don't necessarily want a guy that's completely set in stone with this because you can still have errors that way. But if you only operate like how the Steelers operate, we've seen the flaws in that as well, man.
Yeah. Some of these names that are being Avery Williamson,
bro. I've seen these names. Isaiah Pete. I'm like, whoa.
Some of the names that have worked though, I think the whole strategy, if we're gonna tie maybe these last 20, 30 years together, has been sparingly. It's not been the multiple dudes that have ended up killing us for a good 2 or 3 season stretch. Ryan Clark was one guy, ended up working amazing. He was a stud on our defense for a good stretch. Brought up James Ferrier, but then you have the Melvin Ingram type. All right, it's just one player. It doesn't derail you completely.
Correct. Whereas when you start building your roster that way, when you build your roster through free agency,
that's why this offseason is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's where you have issues. But that's what we said we're going to see because we really haven't had to have an offseason like this because we've always had the quarterback. So when you have that, it just makes it feel different. Whereas right now, we're like, yo.
And we've been tight for cap space, too, for the most part.
Whereas now, we got both options. We got the quarterback room open, and we got a ton of money. And we got multiple spots that need to get addressed. So that's why we're loving it, though, man. It's going to be fun. Yes, it is.
I don't think any more supers came in.
No, you're good. But I know Toy Anvil of Crumbs trying to say I'm ignoring comments. Man, I get in the comments. But actually, Deke is on comment duty today, though. I'm throwing it out there. Deke is on comment duty, so y'all get on Deke. Don't get on me. You send that to him, okay? That's why he had the phone out there because he was trying to double chat. He had the chat here and the chat here. I'm
the
trying,
chat jumps in the phone too.
Yeah, I'm over here like, man, I'm trying to produce back, pull up these topics, read these chats, and give me takes. Like, hey, bro, teamwork. Sometimes you can't do it all. Sometimes you need a Deke in your life. I ain't like how that sounded. All right, I'm just gonna. Sometimes you need an Eric in your life. I ain't going to. It's not frowned upon, but that's just no comment. Leave it alone. Anywho.
What do we got for the next topic?
Man, what is next on this list? I don't even know right now. The big story from the weekend.
Najee? Is this Najee news?
We already talked Najee, so we're past that.
Okay, what
is and Najee wasn't this weekend. Najee was this morning. Yeah, this
is
is the Brady situation, man. Retired or not retired? Now, we got a couple things with this situation. Now, for those that I would say don't know, there were large reports about Brady retiring officially, even to the point where I made a video. I stopped working out to make a video, bro. I'm just throwing it out there because it was dominating the headlines. It was on Sports, and it was literally on every single channel. It was on, like, I was getting alerts on my phone from CNN, Fox News. Was it the BBC, the World News? No, I was getting, because I got all the notifications. I'm like, I want to be diverse. I don't want to just hear from one. I need to hear from everybody.
Japanese
news.
Everything
was popping up.
South American news.
I even thought, bro, I had one from Seoul, Korea. I'm like, bro, I don't even know nobody out there. And it was like, hey, Tom Brady, all them years, he's done. And I'm like, all right, so I guess I should get up here and talk. Post a vid, it was great, and it was like, yo. But then a couple hours later, what did we start getting? He ain't retired. Buck said he ain't done yet.
Yeah, Arians, his dad.
Arians' dad were the first two. Yeah. Then his agent came out.
Agent too, right?
Now I will say this: I thought the dad and Arians did a great job. I think the agent, he just low-key confirmed what I was thinking in terms of...
This is on Tom's timeline.
Yeah. In terms of when you hear the agent talking about...
You want me to pull up the exact quotes?
Pull up the quotes. Pull up the quotes. Because the one... It was very specific in terms of the agent talking about can't confirm the accuracy or inaccuracy.
Yeah.
That was the particular line for me. When I saw that line in there, I said, oh, yeah, you're done. Yep.
This might be a while.
I'm noticed. I'm like, bro, that's a lot of writing in that article right there. But that's how I felt when
I know.
Yeah,
you were trying to find something.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I can't read all this like that, bro.
Hold on, this gotta be it. This gotta be it. Tom Brady's agent response to retirement reports. This is Sports Illustrated.
Yeah,
and dude, just embed the tweet. There it is. Embed the tweet. That's all we need to see.
That's all we needed.
Text from Tom Brady's agent, Don Yee. I understand. This is in quotes. Why is he quoting his own text?
Exactly, bro.
I understand. This is copied and pasted from Brady, probably. Brady typed this up in notes. Copy pasted it.
This is what you're gonna say, okay?
This is probably from Brady. If it's in quotes, maybe Brady said this. I understand the event, because now he's talking in third person. I understand the advanced speculation about Tom's future. Without getting into the accuracy or inaccuracy of what's getting reported, Tom will be the only person to express his plans with complete accuracy. Yeah. He knows the realities of the football business and planning calendar as well as anybody. So that should be soon.
Yeah, because he has a $4 million or multi-million-dollar roster bonus or some type of bonus that's supposed to come up next month.
Okay.
So that's another reason why. But backtracking, obviously the report initially started with Adam Schefter. That's where the report initially came from. Then from there, SportsCenter took it, NFL Network, and so forth and so forth. But after the fact, when the agent said what he said, when Tom's dad and Bruce Arians tried to refute it, SportsCenter and Adam Schefter and everybody doubled down on it.
They did.
Essentially saying that, hey, no, what we're reporting is actually facts.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. And now for me, this is, and going back to what we were talking about in terms of the agent, I do believe that it is over for Tom. I just think right now that he's probably pissed that, he didn't get a chance to control the narrative, because as a guy who's did an announcement before in terms of retirement, you do want to be the one to get it out there. You want to feel like, hey, I'm going out on my terms. I get this message out there first. But as we say so many times with football, because it's so much money, because it's always about the news, it's almost a fight from us as players to break any type of news, whether you're talking injuries, whether you're talking contracts, or even in this case, retirement, because a guy like Schefter, they are connected. So when you're even flirting with the idea, they're hearing about that.
I didn't even say anything.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, bro, how did you know this? Like, that's
wiretap my brain.
That's the nature of it. So I do think that, yes, Brady was going to retire, or probably still will retire. If he were to come back out of spite, I hope it works out. But I do think he would look foolish if it didn't work out. That's my only thing, because it would look like, oh, so you came back out of spite. Oh, and we can tell. That's my only concern with it. But, man, I still think that, he's going to hang it up, man. When you start talking about the family element of it and all of that, you don't bring that up if you're not, weighing that heavily.
Long quotes, long paragraphs I read in those ESPN articles after they lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really thinking about it.
Yeah, and we have never heard him bring up that element. We've heard him talk about wanting to win. We've heard him talk about talent. It's been health.
Even extending his career. That's what it always is.
We have never heard him talking about the family element, or even saying that he's satisfied, in the sense of, what if he say, man, if I left today, I could look back on my career and say I'm satisfied. So the whole narrative of, well, he still has more to prove, he still has more that he's hungry for, it's like, you can still be motivated, but if you already feel like you're satisfied, well, I know that feeling. I got satisfied when I got that final deal, that final money. I was like, you know what, I'm good. It happens, bro. It happens. So that's why, for me, I think I could easily see him continuing with this whole retirement, even though they're trying to do a little damage control and try to pull it back in a little bit. That's kind of my stance on it. What about you, though, man?
What I think's going to happen, I don't know. I have no clue, because I legitimately have this weird feeling Brady might just say, oh, F all you guys, I'm coming back. Prints out a picture of Schefter, puts like a target on his face, and hangs it up in his locker room, and is just looking at it throughout the season. Tries to throw for over 5,000 yards again, and tries to get in the play, like all that. I could see it. Like, I feel like Brady's like that one guy that could do something like that. At the same time, you're right. The agent, how he was talking in those ESPN articles I read about family, it does feel like he's pretty satisfied. He's ready to ride off. No, I don't know what I want him to do because he's a part of like the Ben Rodgers era.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, if he retired, this is just another.
Now you got
like,
both of them. Potentially Rodgers too. That could be 3 in the same class, like in the same season. Yeah.
Part of me is just like, if he goes, I just want Rodgers to go too. It's over.
Just get them all out.
Get them all out. It's the young guys now. The old guys would be like Russ and Stafford.
Everybody can't get in the same Hall of Fame class now. We know it's a limit on how many they bring in each year.
Those guys all get in.
We know what's the limit on how many they bring in each year.
That's how it should be.
No, it's a limit on how many get in each year, man. You don't want everybody retiring at the same time. That's
all
I'm saying.
I'm good with it because I feel like Ben's got his own case. It's fine.
How
all 3 of them should be first ballot.
You said they've been snubbing him his whole career, though.
I know.
You don't want to set him up for another snub, do you?
I might be due for a rant at that point. I could maybe go off for a nice rant.
A scale of 1 to 10.
Viral rant.
Scale of 1 to 10. Ben doesn't get in first ballot because Brady retires and the class is just too thick. Where you at in terms of your anger?
I'm not mad at Brady. Not
Brady. In terms of Ben not being a first ballot potentially, how would you feel about that? Like if that's how it worked out. I don't think it will happen like that, but if it were to happen, though.
Here's what I'm going to ask you. Is the reasoning because Brady, or is it just because they're going to snub him in general?
No, I think if a Brady retires, that could impact the class even more.
Okay. Well, either way, all right. So either way, I don't even know why I asked the question. Either way, I'd be really pissed.
Yeah.
Because it's egregious. Yeah. Dude's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That's my
thing. The quarterbacks that have gone in first ballot, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, I saw, and these are like multiple guys. Someone brought it up in the Twitch stream. It's like Steve Young. Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, like these dudes got in first ballot, 2 quarterbacks in the same class.
I just didn't know if first ballot Hall of Famer was kind of like an MVP. Like you always say, like I don't care about those accolades. Oh, that's all right. We ain't worried about that. So if he was a second ballot Hall of Famer, does it take away from him? T.O. was second ballot. T.O. was one of the greatest receivers ever. He was second ballot Hall of Famer.
Was he second or third?
Yeah,
he might even have been third.
No, I think he was. I think
either way, he wasn't first.
You know, so it's like, hey man,
we know T.O. though. We know T.O.'s first ballot. And Todd feels bad. It's just like I don't know. I probably would go off. I'd be pissed off at the same time. It's just like, dude should have been first ballot.
Because let's see who's available. Who would be available in that class 5 years from now?
Well, they're thinking Peterson. Adrian Peterson.
Did he play this year?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a part because Larry Fitzgerald, I know people brought him up, but he didn't play this season, so he would be in the class ahead.
Yeah, Peterson.
So you're looking at Peterson, Ben, Brady if he's retired.
Missing anyone else?
Those 3 off the top of my head. I don't know who else would be coming out right now. Shady
Gronk.
McCoy, Gronk. Oh, I forgot Gronk.
Not Shady. Shady hasn't played this year.
You're right. So Shady's the class ahead. Gronk definitely. If Gronk retires, he's a first ballot guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That ain't
so we still
crazy.
And it's depending on who else they have carrying over, but
we good, bro.
I feel like not now. You hollering about this Rodgers retiring?
All 3.
You see, trio. You see how these numbers is looking right now. We running out.
No, but I think that's one of those scenarios. First time 3 QBs get in first
Frank
ballot.
Gore. He was the other guy. He's not first ballot to me, bro. Frank. Frank is the weird guy.
Is he even in? I guess he's in.
I feel like I have to say he's in, but I personally don't view him like
he's
that.
Steady Eddie.
I know. He's the definition of steady Eddie. He's I'm gonna give you 7.5 level play for 30 years in a row. You know what I mean? Like
gonna get in. He should get in.
And you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, this is crazy.
As time goes on, you're just gonna be like, how's this dude not in?
But when you watch him, you're like, man, I don't feel like he was like that. But
no, he wasn't. His best year was probably his second year, rookie year. Yeah, after that, it wasn't the same. Now he did deal with a lot of injuries, but
oh man.
I think that's the first. If Rodgers retires, it's one of those things. The first year, 3 QBs all get in first.
I can see that.
That's what it should be.
I can see that because I was trying to think who else without going into like some of these older class or because for a person that's available now, in terms of like this class, if they're available 5 years from now, I don't see that working out like that. It would have to be a guy that might have got snubbed the year before. And that's what I'm trying to think, like, who could we see in that vein that could carry over?
Fitzgerald ain't getting snubbed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, Fitz is getting in. AP is getting in.
Yeah. Is Shady a lock? First ballot?
I personally feel like he should.
First ballot?
I personally would. Just because I view him right behind AP, though, in terms of this generation. You talk about longevity. You talk about elusiveness. You talk about signature moments. You talk about hardware. You talk about
hardware.
But no, but like the serious, like in the all seriousness, like he checks
Hardware.
every box you're looking for. Like, what box are we looking for?
Super Bowls, come on.
Is it checked off? Yes or no?
What, 2 times, right?
Yeah, he has all pros. He has Pro Bowls. He's on the NFL. Was it he's stamped.
I think he'd be better if he just retired outside of those Super Bowls, like before those Super Bowls.
Well, he could have, but bro, the fact that he can say he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ only helps him. That's all I'm saying. So does it help him or hurt him? That's what I'm asking you.
I don't think it helps him. Because he wasn't part of those teams.
So do you think it hurts him?
No, it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it helps him. I just think he could have retired like after Bills, like his last
Fair
Bills
enough.
season, and he'd be fine. I don't think
Fair
his
enough.
case changes.
Fair enough. All I'm saying is it adds to it. I don't think it hurts it.
You think it adds? How much? Big time?
We're talking 2 Super Bowls. I bet if we say, hey, Ben had an all pro in there, but he was an alternate, we wouldn't be hollering about that, right? We'd be over there like, hey, you got that all pro in him. Yeah.
No, I don't care.
Oh, no, you don't care.
No. Anyone else from last year then?
Oh,
nah,
man.
dude, we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, because it would have to be somebody from last year's class. And Fitz has to get in. Fitz is getting in first ballot. He'd probably be the headliner of that class.
No, it's first ballot. Ben's first ballot. Even if Rodgers retires, I don't know. I'm seeing stuff that Rodgers wants to be back with Packers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Although there's other things saying, oh, he's going to the Broncos.
Well, because Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah,
he went over there with him, man.
I don't
Or he
know
went
what to
over
make
there.
of it.
So yeah.
No, either way, yeah. Brady first ballot. Ben first
Speaking
ballot,
of that
Rodgers
situation,
first
though,
ballot.
before we actually go to this next thing, because I do like what you were saying right there, though, man. I do agree with all that.
What?
In terms of the whole Rodgers thing in Denver with Hackett, a little off topic here, but because Hackett's the new coach over there, they're saying that he could potentially, clean house. We got a situation with our O-line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he gone?
Well, if Hackett cleans house, he's available. Our O-line position happens to be available as well.
Give him a blank check.
That's all I was asking. Okay. I just,
Munchak. We're talking about Munchak.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, for those that don't know, Mike Munchak, obviously he's been on the staff with Denver for 2 years now? It's been 2 years?
Oh, wow. 3?
This would be the 3rd season tops, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been 10 years.
It feels like it's been way long. Heck yeah. But obviously with Nathaniel Hackett taking over in Denver, there is a situation where Mike Munchak could potentially become available in terms of, bringing him back to Pittsburgh. Ultimately, that's the real question here. Do you potentially stick with a guy like Chris Morgan, who we all highlighted and we saw the increase in productivity with that O-line when he took over? Do you say, you know what, we're going to go somewhere totally different? Or do you try to recircle back towards Mike Munchak? We know when he left, it was not on bad blood. It was because he wanted to be closer to family in Denver. But obviously now there's been
out of a job.
Well, and obviously it's a couple years later. So depending on the age groups, I don't know the particulars of the age groups of the family members, but I mean, if a person was a teenager 3 years later, I mean, maybe they're older now, or, just depending on, or were they, babies and now they're in school. Like, it's a lot that goes with that. So I don't know all the details on it just yet, but something I wanted to know, like, would you consider that,
Oh, it needs to happen immediately.
It needs to immediately.
You call him
right
off the bat as soon as he's released. If that happens, I think the dude would be an idiot if he released Munchak.
Okay.
But yeah, we got to bring him back.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
We're not keeping Morgan over Munchak. I don't see any reason to do that.
But even though Denver didn't necessarily have the greatest offensive line situation this year,
were they bad?
They weren't great. That's
I
all
thought
I'm
it was
saying.
more quarterback. I thought their team was pretty loaded.
The team was, but all I'm saying is, like, in the sense of,
because Javonte ran pretty good.
Yeah.
Gordon ran decent.
The offense was not like that, though. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, as a whole, they needed work. So that's what I'm saying to you. Like, do you, just off of the history of what Munchak has done, he's the guy?
Yeah.
Even though the talent here is different now. Because remember, when he was here, his O-line looked a little different. He had who? Marquise Pouncey, David DeCastro, Ramon Foster,
there was some
Marcus Gilbert. The development, the real piece was what? Marcus Gilbert.
Probably Al, too.
Beach. Yeah, no, definitely Al was his baby. Definitely Al, because Beach was there first. It was Beach, and then Beach left, and then Al stepped up. But yeah, like, that's still a lot of, I'm trying to think
I just think you do it.
Okay.
How do you feel? It's a no-brainer to me. You bring him back.
I like it. I do. And we've had coaches come back before too. Yeah, we definitely had that before. Yeah, if it's available, I would. But part of me feels like it would not be what we thought it was in terms of that first go round.
Would be a stain on how we look at him, maybe?
Me personally, I think it would, because the personnel that he's coming back to this go around versus what it was in the past, and the quarterback situation is drastically different. We could draft
some guys that, like, this could be perfect for him. Us drafting guys.
But that's the part, because once again, we have to depend on if we're going to do that. Now, if we do that and he gets upgraded pieces, yes, I think
we have to, really.
But didn't we say this a year ago? We said we had to a year ago and we didn't. That's my only dilemma when we think like, yo, it's going to happen. I'm like, man, we sat here and we talked about this a year ago. We talked about it. We said, yo, it can't be worse than what it was. Zero chance. We got to upgrade. Oh, we're upgrading. It's like, no, we did not. So that's why for me, I'm just like, I'm still a little bit skeptical about that part, because we haven't seen them necessarily have to address that just yet. And realistically, since they did with the big overhaul, when they brought in your Pouncey, when you bring in the Castro, those two classes being what they were, like, we haven't seen them commit like that to building or rebuilding this situation just yet. So
Green could be his big project, making us all eat our words on Green.
You know what? If if Big Mike Munchak can't do that, then you know what? I'm down for it. But regardless of him coming back and doing it or not, do what Farron Bradford says. And he says, hit the like button.
Get him a second bust in Canton if he can pull that off.
If he does that, we'll get him a bust and we'll hit the like button for him while we talk about him getting to his bust. So yeah, make sure y'all click that like button, man, while y'all can. All right, thumbs it up. But yeah, man.
You want to read Bradford's comment?
Go for it, bro.
I know this is off topic. Did I skip any? Are we good?
No.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, because we ended with the analytics thing.
Yeah,
and then he came back with this
second one.
Yeah, I know this is off topic. Yeah, so we're good.
Are you guys following anyone closely this week of the Senior Bowl? Mine is QB Malik Willis and left tackle Trevor Penning.
Okay.
Senior Bowls this week?
Yeah, it is this week. Yeah, it's always like in between. Following.
When's that happening?
It should be Saturday.
It's on Saturday?
Yeah, it should be Saturday. Yeah, because they practice all week. They got down there. What's today? Monday. So they got down there yesterday. They should already be practicing.
I did see some reports floating around about who's doing good in some drills.
Yep. But in terms of who I'm looking at right now, nobody off the top of my head just yet. I'll actually probably, dive into the roster a little bit more later today. Yeah, I have not checked them out just yet though, man. But yeah, I'll have to see though, man, because I'm more. And also the thing with the Senior Bowl too, man. I'm definitely more into like the week versus the actual game. I probably won't watch the game itself. I want to see the drill stuff though, man. The one-on-one situations, some of the 11-11 practice stuff. I want to see that. But the game is, I don't know. The game is always a little different.
You gonna watch the Pro Bowl?
Probably not. I ain't gonna lie to you. Probably not.
Strong
chance I'm not gonna watch it, bro.
I don't think I will too. I might just because now Najee and like Deontay's in, because they can make some cool catches or something, but probably not. Yeah. Background. I mean, best case, it's in the background.
Best. Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's go, UW. Yeah. By the way, Moats, a guy you might want to look at as a late round QB prospect is EJ Perry.
Okay.
Who's been looking good in the Shriner Bowl practice from Brown U.
Okay.
Brown U. Is that Ivy?
Yeah,
is Brown and Ivy?
Yeah, that's Ivy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Digging deep.
I like it. Okay. Well, my track record with my Ivy League quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Who? Who'd you pick?
Who?
Ivy?
Who? He went to Harvard. Who?
Fitzpatrick.
Oh, who? What you, Al? Who? Let's get it, baby.
Black and yellow Texas Steel. # smoke something on the podcast. Vibes.
Well, I'd have to look into the YouTube policy on that. Maybe frowned upon. Not 100% sure just yet. But one day we'll figure it out. And if so, we'll let Deke test it out first. All right? We're gonna send him on that mission.
Oh,
yeah. We got you up there first, bro.
Samurai Finn. Oh, that's a good question. Deke, would you rather have Moats get a gold jacket or Big Ben?
Big Ben.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want my life on the line, and Deke has to decide between me and Big Ben. I've already told you the scenario of if his dad is on this side of the house and Ben is on this side of the house. The building's on fire. You can only save one, and the Super Bowl is next week, and the Steelers are playing in it. Papa DeClaven, I feel bad. I'm gonna start. Get your eulogy ready. Like, that's what it's gonna be. Okay, I know this. So if that's gonna be the decision for the man that brought him here, you feel me? He came from his pops, If that's what is in there, I don't stand a chance. Okay, I know my role. I ain't put myself in that position. No, can't do it. Yes, no, your boy just hit it on the head. He said Deke would kill for Ben. I don't know if that's literal, but it's not far off. I'll tell you that's not far off. Okay. All right, let's see where we're going next with this though, man. But so just putting a bow on the whole Brady thing.
Yeah,
I feel like he's still gonna stay retired. I think he's retired. You think he's coming back? Spite Shefty? Because I think Giselle she ain't hearing none of that spite. She ain't hearing none of that dunk on him. Everybody say, yo, Brady, you better get him now, man. You the only one that could do this, man. Ain't nobody done it before. Go ahead and get Shefty, man. Make him look crazy. Giselle over there like, listen, Tom. Listen, Thomas. Okay? I don't care what they have to say. Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Brady. I don't care about anything you got to say. This is what we gonna do. You know when the wife, you see the dynamic all the time. When wifey makes a decision, you know how it goes. We claim we're bosses. We're not bosses. No. I'm a worker. I'm a worker for her. Okay, I'm a boss to everybody else but her. She's the real boss. She's the head honcho. Okay, she's the Griselda Blanco. That's what. Yeah. So when you talk about Giselle, it's like yo. From a man in similar situations, and he's not even the biggest earner in the household. Think about that. You can't even. I can come in at least flex like, hey, look, man, you seen what them comments talking about? She pulling out on Brady too. She put that chump change you making. Man, do you know what we got over here? Way more, way less work. What you talking about?
I'll pay you more not to work.
That's all I'm saying, bro. That's yeah.
I'll lean he comes back just for the hell of it. Yeah, I would really, dude. I could see it like midway through the season.
Hey, bro, you think he would come back? I think he's either gonna.
No. I'm saying midway through the season, we see something in his locker room. It's a picture of Schefter and his tweet. That'd be awesome.
Low key, that would be dope as heck, though. I like the storyline for it, but bro, hey.
I'm not confident. Mine's more like probably 51-49.
When those significant others get to speaking, and you've been, think about for Brady, it's like, bro, you've had your full share. Like, you've been doing this. You 44 years old now. It ain't like you're 34. You 44. You know. It's like, yo, when is it my turn? But I did, something was brought to my attention earlier today in terms of the whole Brady situation. We've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks retire in the past 3 weeks. Now, I'm not sending this to you, but I want to give you this information so you can address those in question. Now, when Ben retired, I took my phone out, did like a minute 30 video, responding, reacting to it. Got great viewership, right? Great viewers. I did the exact same thing for Tom Brady. There was a distinct difference in which video had more viewers. Okay? Now, this is a Steelers show, right? We talk about the Steelers all the time. Okay? It's even times where I'm like, yo, Deke, I want to talk about these other teams, but I don't know if we ready for that just yet. It might be frowned upon. We got to ease it on in. Now, I thought that was the culture here. Y'all said that was the vibe in here. That Ben video ain't get them saying likes like that Brady video. Not only the viewers, they like the Brady video too, Deke. So I just wanted to let you, I presented the case to you, all the facts to you. Now it's the same platform. I didn't drop it off anywhere else. I dropped it off right here on this channel. Not on that channel over there, not on this channel. It's on this channel. Both. Couple weeks apart. You tell me what's going on, Deke. You tell me. Can you explain it to me? Not to mention, the Brady video has only been up for like a couple of days, and it's already outperformed. The Ben video's been up for like a couple weeks now. Can we talk about that? What's going on, man?
What do I think's going on?
Not to me. Talk to them folks, because they the ones. And now don't y'all go in here and now y'all trying to change up the narrative. Nah. Y'all always want to send them shots my way. Oh, it ain't no fun now. 2-gun Johnny on you, baby. Let's go. Yeah, talk to him, man. Get him. You gonna let them watch the Brady? You gonna watch them watch that video over that?
I don't think it's them.
Who you think it is?
I think it's YouTube.
Oh, you go take the YouTube cop out. They weren't even liking the video at first, so the algorithm hadn't even kicked in just yet.
No, but you even said whenever you heard about the Brady news, you're getting Brady from CNN, outside news places. So I could see how YouTube was maybe spitting this video out.
Okay.
To search results, suggested videos, potentially a little bit more than the Ben vid.
Okay.
So it's YouTube's fault.
So you're going to blame YouTube. You're going to let them off the hook.
I think it's YouTube. You could probably even check.
So all the time these people come at you, all the time they talk about 7, and they say, Ben, let it go, and all that. Let it go. I want to hit no more of this 7 talk, no more GOAT talk, no more of this stuff. Okay? I've been on your team this whole time.
I don't think it was the subscribers.
I've been on your team this whole time, man.
Juan Rangel, though, said something. He said, Moats,
you sick one.
You had more motion on the Brady video. I think you're trying to point fingers maybe at other people. Was the quality of the video better? Is that what?
No. In fact, my outfit looked way better in the Ben video than this video. I think like 1 or 2 people actually saw like what was like they actually understood what was on my in the video. It's a small, what do you call it? A little Easter egg. It's an egg in there.
Okay, which one?
In the Brady video.
Okay.
Just watch it and with my tie, tell me if you can tell me what I'm wearing. That's all. Like it's a certain team that flashes.
Oh, hold on, I gotta watch this. Because I don't even.
Yeah,
I've seen the thumbnail.
It's not long, bro. It's not long at all, man.
Okay, you want me to check this out right now? This is the Easter egg.
It's an Easter egg in the video.
There's
right
a
there,
shirt.
Man. It's an Easter egg in the video, bro.
When do you show it?
It's at the end. It's right towards the end of the video, like the last 20 seconds tops.
You show the video, or you show the shirt.
The camera pulls down a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see if you can identify what it was.
You're just still talking right now.
Is
this at the very end?
Not all the way. Maybe.
Am I missing
We're almost there.
There's a blue.
Flashed.
There's a blue. A blue something. I mean,
it's an Easter egg in there, man. Can you see what it is?
Was this done on purpose?
I don't know. You tell me what you think it is, man.
Dude, this is. It's blue. It's royal blue for sure. Unless you're rocking with the LA Rams.
But make it full screen. See what it looks like. See if you can make it full screen.
It's really royal blue. I can't see the rest of it though. Oh. Man. You could see the Buffalo Bill head. You could definitely see that.
I just wanted to put a little Easter egg out there.
Just like a blue blob, but no, you could see the distinction in the Buffalo Bill logo, like how the hair goes back. Wow.
And Juan actually did pick up what he did catch it, bro. But
what was that for, like the AFC East, tribute?
No, because I was actually about to work out. I tell you, I was about to work out. Then I saw the thing pop. I was like, I need to go shoot this video real quick before I get to working out. And it just so happened that I had that one on. It was like a coincidence, you know what I mean? Like full circle moment. But the quality isn't better. I got workout clothes in there, man. I need a haircut and everything, bro. I look bummy, you know?
Hold on, what's the background of the Ben vid?
Yeah.
Because this one, you got the J's and stuff in the background.
I think it might be identical backgrounds now that I think about it.
Well, let's see.
You might just
I don't even remember the Brady one's one. Oh man, dude.
No, not that one. Cause that's the podcast one. It's gotta be the short one. Yeah, you see it, right? Yeah.
There's less time on the Ben one.
Oh wait, are you getting me on a technicality, bro?
The background, just like a white wall. You got your J's and everything in the background with the Brady one. These are like rare Jordans. These are some of the rarest Jordans I've ever seen.
Are you serious? That's crazy. That is crazy.
So it might be there might be a couple factors here. Actually, it might not just be YouTube. Wow. The more we're looking into it.
Wow. Are we serious right now? I feel like the other, because Ben, it's a less busier background. I'm more focused.
Clean. You're saying it's clean.
Yeah, sometimes cleanliness is next to godliness. Isn't that what they say? So I just tried to give a more clean look. I didn't want all the busyness of that in the background when I was talking about 7, because it was sentimental. I almost dropped a tear in the video, bro. I was like, yo, 7. Thank you for everything. I even did too. I made a post. I even put it on YouTube. The picture of my post, like, yo, Ben ain't seen it on YouTube. He seen it on everywhere. He ain't seen it on YouTube. I did it because I was like, I wanted people to know. It touched my heart. That's all. So once again, you should blame them, bro.
It could be multiple factors.
No. It's just them.
I don't know.
It's them
and
YouTube,
them.
bro. Don't put it on me. It's them and YouTube.
I told you YouTube, but there may be some other stuff we're finding out right now.
More so them and YouTube, though. More so. Correct.
I don't know if I could say them. I'm not sure. I got to think about it.
I can assure you, I ain't watched it that many times. Okay, I might account for like 2 of them. I'll count for 2 views every time. I'm gonna watch it when I'm uploading. I'm gonna watch it again to make sure it's actually going good. Then after that, I ain't watching. Okay, so it ain't me. I got 2 of them views. You take my 2 off of that. Okay, the rest of them though, yo, so better. No, all right. So there we go. Like I said, it's on them, bro. I would get on them because that ain't my style.
I mean, you could dig deep into the analytics. You could see the amount of people that are subscribed to you, the percent that are subscribed if they watched it or not. So maybe with the Brady one, it's a lot of people that aren't subscribed.
In fact, it was 80% subscribed, bro.
On Brady?
Yeah.
No way.
I don't make this up, bro.
Listen,
I won't confirm the accuracy or inaccuracy of these numbers that I'm going to throw out here, okay?
Okay.
I can't confirm the accuracy or inaccuracy.
Brady's agent.
It was like 80% for both of them, that it was both subscribed. In fact, I think it was 100% subscribed for Ben, 80% subscribed for Brady. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, man.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't make it up, bro. You know me. Honest A, bro. Come on, man. You know how I roll. Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's all, man. That's all.
That's something that just piqued your interest.
Yeah,
huh?
it came across my mind.
I was curious about it.
When we were talking about the Brady, I was like, oh, you know what? I had a thought. And that's all, So I'm glad we got to the bottom of this. So at the end of the day, get on them. Don't get on me, okay? Because I'm a real fan. They're fake fans. What the Supers looking like? We got any action over here, man?
Let's see.
Then we go to this next topic, man.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we got David Dupree. That's it.
Oh, all right.
He says Deke might not kill for Ben, but he'd hide a body.
Oh, I could see that. I could definitely see it. Or be the getaway driver. Hey, Seven, do you want me to open the door on the left side or you want me to open the door on the right side? What type of glove is that? Is those isotone? What type is that isotone? No, it's different. That's Nike. Okay. I just checking. Check the glove. All right. You said you like Big Ben with the gloves on his hand. You told me that too. All right. Nobody heard about the last guy with gloves. No, after the last guy. Anywho. All right. Now we get to have a little fun, man. Talk about some quarterback talk, man, here in Pittsburgh. But more importantly, we'll start in-house. We'll start with our Pro Bowl running back, Najee Harris. Last week, he was asked about the quarterback situation here in Pittsburgh. In terms of, who he could see being the quarterback next year for the Steelers. And he had some very interesting comments. So I'll turn this over to you right here. I believe you got the pulled up.
Yeah.
All right. So you take the floor with this one, please.
Well, hold on. Yeah, we'll start with this, and then I'll get to the names. He says, one thing I'm looking for is someone who's a grinder, who's willing to stay late, study, really learn the ins and the outs of the playbook, maximizing his players on the team. As a leader, for me, I would want somebody who wants to win and who's competitive just like me. Then he goes on to list some names. Wait, what is going on with this article here?
Bro, I don't know what that image was. It just popped up, but it did not look normal. It was not a cool look, bro.
Prostate.
I was about to say, I don't know what that was. It didn't look good, bro.
4 signs of a swollen prostate.
Yo, the ads that be on these websites kill me, bro.
Dude, I'm not seeing the actual quote. I really am not. I'm trying to find
it. And you keep going past these swollen prostate pictures, bro. Like, God, dog, bro. You trying to see this, but it look mad, man. Hey.
Well, basically, I'll just say this, and maybe I could try to find the quote in a little bit. He said he likes Watson, brings up Rodgers, then also Jimmy G. It's 3 quarterbacks.
And he did not bring up some quarterbacks that we currently have in-house as well.
No.
Yeah, in terms of no mention of Mason, no mention of Haskins. So, obviously, people, we're in a little bit of a.
Here we go. I got the
now
quote.
You got it now? Okay.
This was so easy. I just had to go to a different site.
Went away, so I appreciate that as well. Thank you.
I just had to go to a different site. There's names that pass my mind. Deshaun Watson's always in there. Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, I don't know how far he is coming close to retirement, but he's someone I think too. Even guys like, if we get Jimmy G, I like him too. Those were the exact quotes.
Okay.
QBs on the roster. So it was kind of open-ended. He could have brought up, or at least said, I like the guys we have.
Correct.
If we go outside, these are some guys that I'm thinking. Just no mention of Mason or Haskins, though, huh?
Yeah. Now, how did you feel about that?
There's no way that's on purpose. He's just spitballing, man. I think he's like any of us. It's just like, who do you want as quarterback? You're thinking fantasy trade. Like, if we could just trade for anyone. These are guys on my mind.
But now,
is it telling though? Maybe.
Because would he have said that if Ben was the quarterback?
No.
And that's the part where people react like that, because even though he was speaking candidly, and with Najee, the thing that I do like about Najee, he reminds me of like just the joy of being a young player in the league. When he talks to the media, you could tell he's not, overthinking it. He doesn't have the memories of, oh man, they got me over here for saying this, now I gotta talk like this, or they said I couldn't say this, and I gotta talk like that. Like, he is just being his true self when he's in front of the camera, which is a dope thing to be able to do right now for him. So part of me is like, yeah, that it was more true, because it's like, yo, he really was just feeling like, you know what, when I think of who I want as my quarterback next year, if I was thinking Haskins, who would I say? I would say Haskins. If Ben was our quarterback when I was here, man, you asked me who you want your quarterback, Ben. I'm like, what? Ben, and more Ben? Like, that's all you would think of. Like, I'm not thinking of anyone else. But that part to me was a little telling, man. I don't blame him necessarily, though, especially with the quarterbacks that he named. And with the quarterbacks that he named, obviously, they are very different in all elements, right? Where you're talking age, skill, cost, off field, what you got to deal with, right? With Rodgers, we know to acquire him a ton of money. Whether you're trading for him, it's going to cost. It's a big purchase. Same with Deshaun Watson. If everything got cleared, as we talked about earlier, but we also know.
And you're probably dealing with some off-field stuff with him.
Yeah, you're going to have the ramifications.
Not that he's going to be continuing what he's doing, but people protesting, who knows? That type of stuff.
For a fact. I was here when we brought Vic in. We dealt with the protesters. We had to bump up the police presence there because, yes, every single day when you would leave, it was like that. Even when we first signed him, it was like that. Protesting, they say it's dangerous. I ain't gonna lie. We low-key thought it was more dangerous for them fans because it was like, yo, if y'all ever actually did make contact with any of us in here, this gate ain't keeping y'all out. It's keeping us in, okay? If we come over there, it's gonna be a whole bad situation. But with Watson, you will have to deal with that for a fact. And I 100% can understand it.
Because for the first season, at least.
Absolutely.
News reporters coming out and trying to make their big story about, oh man, Steelers bringing in Watson.
Yeah,
it's a disgrace.
I can understand it, bro.
There'll be all that's happening.
Yeah, I could definitely understand it, man. But the last guy, Jimmy G. I mean, you've heard me talk about Jimmy. I like Jimmy. I just don't want it at the cost that it would, like this current deal that he's on right now. I would like it a little bit different, just because I think that less money for Jimmy, you could upgrade it even more around him. But Jimmy is definitely a quarterback that, as we talked about, I mean, in his years in San Fran, you look at how many NFC Championship games he's been in, and then you compare him to some of these other quote unquote elite quarterbacks, top 5 guys, and what they've done over these past 5 years or 4 years, however long Jimmy's been out there in San Fran. And his resume is up there with Aaron Rodgers. His resume is up there with Tom Brady. His resume is up there with Patrick Mahomes in terms of what he's been able to do with that team and what he looks like when he's not out there with that team. So I definitely don't have an issue with the names that Najee was naming. I do like them, actually, man.
Yeah, I can understand it. Outside of Jimmy G, I don't know why he likes Jimmy G. I have no clue. But you maybe see more
how I feel. I'm taking Jimmy G over Mason. That's me personally. Right. But you might be a Mason guy. I know your old fling, loving Madden, Stephanie Ramirez. She's back in the building. She's definitely pounding the table for Mason. She's a Mason guy. She thinks that Mason is going to be fine on the team.
Yeah, the problem with Jimmy G is the contract. Mason,
that's the money
Mason
part.
At $5 million. Yeah, I'd rather have Mason. But yeah, if you're just saying in a vacuum, I would take Jimmy G for sure.
Jimmy G has that big win that you like to talk about too. Yeah,
not ultimately.
Sample size, it speaks for itself.
Not ultimately.
It speaks. You said big winning.
Limited.
But you said big.
No, but I don't.
Can't. But you can't say big winning without talking about what he's been doing. Like, and it's showing when he's not out there, they didn't do any big winning. When he's out, but big winning is big winning. We can make the same case about Rodgers not closing the deal. Rodgers only closed the deal one time, right? Ben's closed it twice. So you're talking about 2 times. You're talking about 1 time. That's it. But no, it counts. But that's the difference between a Hall of Famer versus a non-Hall of Famer, right? But if all we're saying is Ben did it 2 times, Rodgers did it 1 time, and Jimmy G was a throwaway. That's all I'm saying. Like, the gap in terms of him getting a Super Bowl, and now people try to talk about him like that based on how you're alluding to right there. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't take away from what Jimmy G has been doing on the field, man. It's there.
Really good team around him though too.
So why don't they win without him then? Or we'll get a chance to see what they look like next year. Trey Lance to get his opportunity,
right?
Because that's the part for me that I'm interested to see. Because for the people that always say anybody could do the Jimmy G thing, I'm still waiting to see that happen because it's proven that it hasn't just been anybody doing the Jimmy G thing.
Trey Lance will be really interesting because completely different quarterbacks. I mean, this dude has a cannon. At times looks. I mean, Jimmy G's reckless at times with the ball too. But I mean, for Trey Lance having a cannon, like he's overthrown people.
Yes, like, his recklessness.
Whereas Jimmy G's more or less just making bad decisions.
Correct.
I think. Whereas Trey Lance looked inaccurate at times from the limited times that we've seen him.
Yeah.
Watson, Rod. These are all guys that we've talked about anyway, so it's nothing new. It's just funny that he said them out loud like that.
Yes.
I just think that's the funny part. Because, Watson, Rodgers does make sense in terms of, all right, franchise quarterback guys. Jimmy G, I just have always had him not really on my list, mainly due to the contract.
Now, sticking with the quarterback, talk, but kind of switching to the next topic as well because they are hand in hand. As we're talking about quarterbacks that were recommended, we also had Todd Haley make a recommendation for a quarterback, and I saw this name coming up in the chat, but he recommended Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, Nick Babiak.
Nick.
What do you think about Trubisky as a possible guy?
Yeah, so to give you full context, Todd Haley, for those that don't, well, everybody should know who Todd Haley is. Todd Haley, the former Steelers offensive coordinator. He was doing his own show with Sirius XM.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had essentially just asked him, like, man, what are your thoughts on the quarterback situation for the Steelers going forward, or, his idea of how he thinks they should go about, moving in the direction after Ben. And what he had said was, I don't know if you have the quotes. All right, you go ahead and read it off.
It says, Mitch Trubisky, it's so important to put these guys in a position to succeed. And I don't know what he was given in Chicago. He was a young quarterback to begin with, hadn't played a lot. He was only a one-year starter at UNC. But his size, athletic ability to throw the football, you need to have a characteristic that allows you to survive while you learn to be a real quarterback. What I saw in the preseason with the Bills, I was pretty impressed with. I mean, he looked like a different guy. And then he went on to elaborate in Chicago how they were making him play. I mean, no disrespect to any coaches. I would watch that tape. Kurt Warner and I would do a Zoom call and watch it, and sometimes it didn't make a lot of sense. And some of the positions they were putting him in just weren't fair. On top of that, of being in Chicago, not a fun place to be as a young quarterback. I think Mitch has a chance. I just think he needs to be in the right place with the right coaches that are able to nurture him and allow him to grow and develop.
What are your thoughts on Mitch Trubisky, man?
Listen, dude, you may know a little bit more about this than me because he was up with the Bills this season. Even in, see him in the preseason a little bit. I don't know how much time he got in the regular season coming in for like garbage duty whenever Josh Allen.
He had like one or two, but I mean, he looked really good. Like it looked like a totally different version of Mitch Trubisky this year compared to everything that was shown in Chicago.
Okay, so I checked some of the highlights. I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah. I could kind of see it in terms of the arm strength, his mobility, all that type of stuff. Still not a big Trubisky guy, but if we're legitimately talking about bringing in Ryan Fitzpatrick, Gardner Minshew, sure, why not? Why not bring in Trubisky? Because you've even brought up this point to me in the past, because I've said, I'm just out on Trubisky. I'm just out. But you're like, why aren't you out on Haskins?
Right.
It's a fair point. And Trubisky wouldn't be the worst guy to bring in for a competition. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, so for me, like I said, watching Mitch Trubisky in Chicago, then watching him this past year in Buffalo, night and day. Thought you could really see the talent of why he was drafted in the first round when he was in Buffalo. Arm strength was on display. He even showed that he could run a little bit better than I thought he could as well when he was up in Buffalo. It's two reasons why, for me though, I say no.
Oh.
Number one, who was the offensive coordinator in Buffalo?
Dable.
So obviously Dable just got the head coaching job in New York. But we know Dable is a high-end coordinator. You can see the schematics. You can see the growth that Josh Allen has taken under him. So what do you have in him? You have an elite offensive-minded coach. That's the first reason that I wouldn't take him, because we don't have Brian Dable. Second thing, who was the guy that was talking during this quote?
Haley.
And he's another high-end offensive mind. We've seen him firsthand. We know the success he had here in Pittsburgh. He's also not here. So I'm essentially going to think that Mitch Trubisky under Brian Dable can do that same thing But with Matt Canada and his concepts, I'm sorry, I don't view Matt Canada in any conversation with Brian Daboll right now. Could it grow into that? Sure. But based off what we have seen, I don't believe that Matt Canada can develop and make Trubisky look like how he was looking in Buffalo. I think it will revert back to what he was looking like in Chicago, where you have a guy that really doesn't know how to utilize him. They don't really do the things that, even when Haley was talking, he's like, yo, some of the positions they're putting him in, it doesn't make sense. And you watch him in Buffalo in the preseason and even in some of the spot action, you're like, oh, this is a guy that understands how to highlight his strengths and weaknesses. It's a guy that has creativity. It's a guy that has just a good feel for calling it. So we said it's a difference between designing plays and actually knowing when to call the plays. I can go get you Dick LeBeau's playbook right now. Okay? I can give you that book. You will know every play in there. But you ain't going to know when to call it. You're not going to know when to utilize those things or which personnel to put out there with that. So that's why for me, even though I can hear the case for Mitch Trubisky, I just personally don't think that it's a match with Matt Canada. And if going back to the best thing in Matt Canada's offense is having mobile or mobility at quarterback to that level where you want to be able to do, because they talk about it like, yo, it has to be mobile. Like, I want to see you be able to do a little something here. To me, Mitch isn't that. Like, if it's a zone read and I'm choosing between, do I honor, Najee running, or do I really think Mitch is going to pull it? I'm not honoring Mitch pulling that ball. That's part of the reason why when we talk about Matt Canada's offense, and these are some of the concepts that I've watched on tape from him in college. Remember a year ago when we talked about him getting that job, we broke down some of the things and talked about what he does well and what he struggles with. And you could see that, yes, they are lateral with his scheme, but he likes the little mobility. He wants that zone read option. And to me, Trubisky isn't giving you that.
Neither is Haskins or Mason.
But that's why we keep saying, if we're keeping this guy, how do these pieces fit with this scheme? If we're saying the reason the offense looked the way that it did was because we only had red paint. That's why for me, I'm just like, I don't want him because I just feel like we're going to be wasting the time.
Okay. So
that's my feeling.
You're saying in theory,
because I just don't think it's a match. I don't think I think like you have to have the coach and the quarterback to go together. And I just don't think that Canada can get out of Trubisky what Brian Daboll got out of Trubisky in Buffalo. I don't think that it's going to be like that. I think it's definitely going to look more so like the Chicago situation where we don't have that fit.
Right. So you're saying in theory, yes. In practicality, no. Basically.
Yes.
Because if we're talking about bringing in a dude like Minshew, why not Trubisky? Because if anything, Trubisky is more mobile than Mason.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
can do that type of stuff. But you think it's just going to be too much pomp and circumstance for a letdown?
Me personally, yes. Because we're going to highlight the fact he's a former first-round pick. We're going to highlight and we're going to see him make some crazy throw. He's going to look good at times, but at the end, the fit isn't there. And if the fit isn't there,
you think it'll just be too expensive? Is that what it is?
No. I don't think it'd be too expensive. I'm just saying, like,
what does it hurt? That's my thing.
Okay, if you're saying what does it hurt, sure. I'm just saying to myself, I think that we already have that in the cupboard, or at least in that framework with Mason and Haskins. So why am I bringing another thing that's already like what we already have? If I wanted the flyer, I already took the flyer. That's my Haskins move. Yeah. He's going to get his opportunity this offseason. I want to bring something in like a Mariota that's different. Give me something that's different. Because we talked about the Dobbs thing, but okay. What's a higher end Dobbs? Mariota is a higher end version of Dobbs. Bring me that, but at least he is drastically different from Mason and Haskins, and it would hold true to this theory of the Matt Canada offense, right?
That he's the closest guy.
That's the thing. So that's why for me, I'm just like, I don't want to bring in what we already have. That's the same conversation at running back. That's why I'm always like, I don't want to bring in another thumper, a big bruiser back. No, we got Najee. Give me a speed guy. Give me somebody that can spread you out, somebody that can play in space. It's just a different element to it. So that's kind of like where I lay with that, man.
How you feel about then Mariota? We signed Mariota. We signed Cordell Patterson. You kind of liking that?
But you're putting a lot. It's going to depend on what Mariota we getting, because that's a question mark with him, right? We don't know if he can be a guy.
How much did they run the Oregon system down in like Tennessee though? Is Canada going to be close to the Oregon system, you think?
I don't know.
A lot of his stuff's under center though. Oregon stuff wasn't under center.
Right.
It would be all those read options that he was doing. Yeah. We'd be seeing a lot more
but
of
he
that.
wants that, yeah.
Yeah, Mariota's interesting to me.
Because Dobbs is interesting. But Dobbs isn't as high end as a Mariota in terms of like
Mariota
the talent is different.
Pick.
Yeah. But if we're keeping Canada, which everything says we are going to keep him, that kind of pigeonholes us a little bit in terms of what prospects we're trying to fit, because his scheme, based on what everything they have said out of the Steelers, brass, is that his scheme can work, but you have to have the pieces for it. Now, you can make the case that, hey, man, if you're a great coach, why don't you make your scheme a little bit more amendable to the personnel that you currently have? But that's neither here nor there. This is the route that we're going. So that's why for me, it's like, man, I just don't want to do that route.
When you initially said no, I thought you were going to go with, we already have the first-round guy in Haskins, bringing in Trubisky. What does that necessarily say? No, you want a whole different, but you just don't think it's even worth it. Bring in a different guy. Okay.
Because, like I said, to me, Haskins versus Trubisky, like, and that's why I kept saying to you, was like, man, for you to give up on Trubisky but not give up on Haskins, I look at them as like, y'all are in the same space in terms of.
Fair. If anything, Trubisky has had the better career up to this point.
So that's why for me, I'm like, I'm not against Trubisky. I just don't feel like if we have Haskins already here and we have Mason here, all three of them are the same version. You know what I mean? Like
close
to
enough.
varying degrees of how, how much better and stuff like that, but they're all in the same family. Whereas a Mariota, he is different. He's different. And that's what I want. Just because when you're talking about competition, when you're talking about a young coordinator in Matt Canada trying to find his way, maybe he's adjusting, maybe he's doing self-scout and saying, well, you know what? I do got to be able to handle this. I do need to add this in there. At least give him variety. Because if all he's looking at is the same three style of quarterbacks to varying degrees, how much versatility are we going to see from him? How much growth or lack thereof can we see from him? And that's the other part of it. I'm critical of him, but at the same time, I want to see him grow. I want to see him do a good job because that means the team's going to win.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you got to give him pieces to at least make a valid case. And if, like I said, if this season looked like this because he didn't have that piece, don't have that be an excuse again. That's, you know what I mean? I don't want that excuse again. I want to know, is he a guy or not? Because if he's not, we're wasting time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You'd feel different about Jameis, though, even though he's in the similar mode. At least
I do, because
proven.
I feel like Jameis is way more proven, way more higher end. I don't think Trubisky, Haskins, or Mason are even in the conversation.
Like that would be a competition. If we brought in Jameis, he should be the guy right off the bat.
Absolutely, 100%. That's definitely where I feel, man.
He should be. Make it a competition if you want, but he's QB1. I'd say he should be getting all the first team reps.
Absolutely.
Now, what if we brought in Mariota? Would it be the same way? Whoa.
This is my thing. I don't feel like it should, but I feel like Mariota needs to prove it. Like, in the end of the day, I'm bringing him in. I know Mariota's going to beat these guys out, but I'm not telling Mariota that because why should I? I want to see you beat him up, but I also want that contract to reflect that as well. I don't want that contract telling you got starter money. Jameis is going to have a contract where it's going to say, yo, you're QB1. We know this. It's not franchise quarterback, but you're QB1. Mariota, I'm not bringing him on QB1 money. I'm bringing him on, hey, if you become QB1 this season, you got respectable money, but if you're the backup, it doesn't kill us. And that's where I'm going with him. And I do think he still would beat those guys out. The biggest question Mariota is passing the ball. Can he do it consistently enough? Because athletically, he's going to blow Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins out the water.
Yeah.
But in terms of the arm and the accuracy, the strength, the risk assessment, I don't know where he's at compared to Haskins and Mason. Because I do think Haskins and Mason, especially like they can throw when they're doing what they're supposed to do, they can throw the ball. We've seen that. Whereas with Mariota, it's like it gets super inconsistent at times with him.
He could get you on the short stuff pretty good. He's pretty accurate with that. Yeah, the deep ball, I haven't seen enough Mariota. He's always felt more Jimmy G to me.
Yeah.
Like letting you down, a little limited, but has that nice athleticism. I don't think Tennessee was really tailored for him though like that. They didn't have that much talent. So
yeah.
Man,
Canada fits him perfectly.
If we sign him, we could really talk ourselves into Mariota, man. I'm starting to get hyped about it right now.
Now, John Dobbin brings up a good point. He talks about Mariota's injury history in terms of him being a little bit more injury prone. Now, part of that is with the style of play we know as a mobile quarterback. Yeah, you're going to take some shots. Now, I want to see, though, what injuries he's had during the seasons as well, just to know, like, was it an ACL? Or are we talking like, all right, it was a knee bruise? Because, like, bruises is more so him as
Draft Sharks injury history. They got it all pulled up for me.
Fire, let's go.
Ooh, we got one at number 2.
Yeah.
MCL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, knee sprain. And we got some like quads here.
Okay.
Hamstring pull.
That's a fast guy problem.
Chest.
Throwing
AC joint sprain.
Right. Yeah,
that was 2015. That was way back.
Okay.
Arm elbow sprain 2018.
Yeah.
That's nothing crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, the numbers has to be right. Wow. Though. That's my name.
They have a whole injury history site. This is crazy. DraftSharks.com.
I'm going to have to check them out.
Wow.
Yeah. But for me, man, my biggest thing with Mariota though is really just the money part of it. If you can have that money,
10.
I'm like, I would have to look into the numbers of it in particular, but like 10 doesn't sound far off. Like I'm anywhere between 15 to 10. Like I don't know if 20, because I think 20 is when I'm talking Jameis. I think Carr, when I'm thinking like, well, Carr, he'd probably be priced out of that just with him coming off the season he's had. But I think that range for like the higher end quarterbacks. Whereas with Mariota, 10 probably best. 15 will probably be high end for him. Just because like, he hasn't had,
that might even be too much.
Yeah, I don't think you have to pay that much for him. Honestly,
last year it was 1 year, $3.5 million.
Exactly, bro. Give
10,
him the same
10 might
thing,
be the
bro.
max.
Oh heck no! If he was for 3 last year, he didn't even play like that this year. Think about it. He was the gadget guy, the extra quarterback when they want to do some of the short yardage and run stuff.
He could be a steal for us.
Yeah,
it actually makes sense for him to come to Pittsburgh then, because he might get a legitimate chance
if the numbers
to
are
start.
Like that, then yeah.
Because look, I'm reading this.
He went out there for a little bit more than that. That's interesting, dude.
It might have been the year prior, but he might have re-signed for.
Gotcha.
Why do I want to say it was $8 million last year?
I definitely thought that 3 is low for like. Whew.
But you just type in Marcus Mariota. This is how he's being talked about right here. Packers. How much would Marcus Mariota cost? For them,
why would the Packers do that?
I guess they're assuming Rodgers is gone. They want to bring in Mariota to compete with Jordan Love. So how much are you paying Mariota to do that? It can't be that much.
Right. Well,
here's another one. This one's just stupid. This one might be the stupidest one I've seen. It says, is Mariota the perfect backup for Jared Goff? Is this what the Lions are talking about up there? A backup for Jared Goff. He's competing with Goff.
With Jared Goff. What? I was about to say, yeah. If I'm Detroit, I might even holler at Trubisky. Keep it real. Like, yo, you might come in and compete with that dude, man. Yeah.
Right. I kind of want to check to see what Mariota signed for last year. If it was $8 million.
Yeah, because I thought his number was a little bit higher than that, personally, man.
But you're right. 3 last year. And he really didn't do anything. He would come in to do some of their little formations and stuff, Wildcat stuff.
That is it, yeah.
Okay, so career earnings, Raiders, it was $7.5 million total with incentive. He made $9 million with the Raiders in 2020. Okay. I
was about to say, I felt like 3 is like super low, bro. Now, put it like this then, because that essentially was a 2-year deal.
Well, I think it was one. It was one each. It was one each. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they signed him 2020 as a backup,
and then he didn't play, so they was like, "Oh, come back, take this." Yeah,
I guess no one was really looking at him.
Man, I'm hollering at him with a 3, or if I need to entice him a little bit more, give him a 5-piece, and I'll be like, "Yo, compete with Mason. May the best man win." Because what Mason's deal is for $5 million, right? This year.
Yeah.
Man, I'm giving y'all can get the same deal. Y'all compete for it, and then whoever gets the job gets the money.
Who's Ben's agent?
I don't remember.
Hold on. This might be Ben's agent. That's with Mariota.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a connection point.
Well, it says so you instantly love him.
No, I was gonna say though. Yeah, because it says for Ben's agent, Rep 1 Sports. That's like that YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same for Mariota.
Okay.
Rep 1 Sports. Ryan Tolner.
So I was just say, who's the specific guy for Ben?
It didn't say. No, it didn't say.
Gotcha.
So Mariota, 28. He will turn 29. It looks like midway through the season. You're talking me into this Mariota move, actually.
I like that one better. I like
than Trubisky.
Yeah, for me personally, just if the whole premise is true about Canada and why the offense looked the way that it did, I would like to bring him in. I think that would
someone different.
Yeah, just different.
I like that.
Still good. Still compete with these guys. Doesn't cost you too much. Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna have to watch.
You can walk away from it whenever you want to.
I'm gonna have to watch some Mariota highlights these next couple of days. I could talk myself into it. Because you said what? Question the deep ball. All of a sudden, I just need about 3 or 4 passes.
That's it, man. Yeah. That's it. Highlight really do it to you now. Highlight really definitely do it to you.
Or even what he did this year. Like I said, it was in a limited role, but people down in Oakland were actually talking about at points, even him coming in. Taking the full reign. Whenever Derek Carr, I know he had a full good season, but there were points,
had like a 3-4 week window.
There were points where he wasn't looking as hot.
Yeah,
I like that conversation though. Man.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to Trubisky because, like I said, for me, what does it hurt? But if you got the standpoint of like, I don't even want to waste time.
That's my only. Like I said, if it was a different coordinator, it'd be different. But it's kind of like if you have a 3-4 defense and we're looking at 4-3 DNs. Saying, hey, can you stand this guy up? I'm just like, man.
How do you feel about Trubisky versus someone like Fitzpatrick, though? Fitzpatrick, the veteran guy, or would you want the upside guy with Trubisky?
if it's my choice, I probably just lean with the upside guy. But no. Let me retract that. Because we're talking about the Steelers' current situation, not a random team. If it was a random team,
Steelers.
Right? If it's a random team, give me the guy with the upside, and I could build around it,
like the Lions,
right? But in this situation, because for me, I still feel like this team can compete. I feel like you draft around, you free agency what you need to, you can make it work with a lower end quarterback that's just good enough. And I think for Fitz, because like we said, Fitz over a 17 game season, we know it's going to get gory at times, but I do. In the sense, I would take him because he's veteran, and I know he could handle some of these bigger moments that we're gonna get when I beef up these pieces around him. Because Fitz ain't gonna cost nothing crazy. Let's be real about it. You're not 15 is
probably
max.
Less,
like that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and he's coming off of an injury, and he's a year older. So I'm not worried about what it's gonna cost Fitz in that standpoint. But I'm gonna bring in all the talent around him, and I'm just gonna bank on his experience. I'm gonna bank on, the leadership part of it, and at the time that I would much rather have Fitzpatrick coming off a bad game and talking to the team and getting them back rallied around than Mason coming off of a bad game and hoping that he can get these guys rallied around, because we've seen Fitz have bad performances and bounce back. We've seen Fitz have bad seasons and bounce back. We can't really point to in the recent and say,
not
hey,
even
man,
Mason, but also like Trubisky.
Right, and just say, hey, man, they had a bad game or two, but they bounced back this week. Like, we just can't point to that right now with them. And that's why, for me, if we're talking about the Steelers, I would go that approach, but I would beef up everything around them. And we can do that because for the pieces that we're talking about fixing, draft and free agency wise, you can do it, but you got to go lower end quarterback wise. And I've told you, I'm fine with that, because I just don't think that you're going to get a franchise quarterback this offseason. And if you're not getting him, why spend all that money on him? Give me a guy that can bridge it, a guy that can be confident, can lead, and I'm going to just beef up everything around him, and we'll make it work that way. The Jimmy G approach.
Right.
Yeah.
But
way less money.
With Mariota potentially.
Yeah.
Wow. You talking me into this Mariota move. You really are.
Well, salute us then.
In terms of signing, that might be the guy.
Man, I mean, in terms of the cost, the was it cost benefit analysis or whatever, man? Yeah.
I think his number's available too. Number 8.
Yeah.
Right? I think it is. So you can take that.
Who's number 8? I don't think anyone was number 8. Yeah.
Ingram, yeah. He's gone.
So, yeah, you got options then, man. Might be a little big. I did tailor it in a little bit for you. But other than that, yeah, man.
John Dobbins. Let's get real. Canada isn't good with any quarterback.
I'd say I ain't want to go there. I'm just trying to get. Now, I did see in the Super, they recommended another mobile quarterback, black and yellow Texas Steel. He says, why not Colin Kaepernick? Now, my only thing is this. Kaepernick is definitely in the same vein, as a Mariota athletically. The problem is we haven't seen Kaepernick do those similar things for, 5 years now. So, like I said, it's nothing against him personally. It's just, man, the longer you're away from this game, the harder it is to get back in it and play at a high level. And I just don't think that for Kaepernick, after that long, man, he's going to be able to do that. Whereas with Mariota, he was on a roster this year. He was playing in games this year. He was practicing. His mind, he was conditioned for this. It's different. As a guy that done it and has stopped doing it, it's different. That's all. It's different. So, yeah.
What was Mariota's 40? I know that's a little bit ago, so he may have slowed down a touch, but 4.4.
Hey,
4.48.
I remember he was the Blazer coming out of Oregon, bro.
Yeah, he won a Heisman. Number 2 pick. Bro. It was between...
It was him and Jameis.
Yeah, those were the two.
Because I remember I was the Jameis guy because I love Florida State. And, yeah, I remember Mariota. I was like, all right. Yeah.
Both really good coming out. I mean, there was a reason they went 1-2. There's no doubt about it.
They were clear cut. Like, they were some dogs, bro. It was filthy.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got the last chat that just popped up from Centralia 83. And they said Mitch Trubisky is Bubby Brister 2.0. Is that how you feel about him as well, man? Or you probably felt like that prior to this conversation. Now you change your mind. You're like, you know what, man? I kind of like
Trubisky?
Kind of like this guy a little bit.
We're talking about Trubisky?
Yeah.
We're in a dark space right now, dude, without having a franchise quarterback. So you could talk me probably into any of these guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. I already told you I'm out on Trubisky, but then you bring him up as a potential Steeler.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First rounder, he was 2 overall. Did he get hijacked up in Chicago? Maybe. Bills, did they turn him around a little bit? So you could talk me into it. I'm trying to set my expectations pretty low for any of these guys right now.
Okay.
I'm going to set expectations low. So anything's house money.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough.
I just want us to. We gotta have a plan. We got to do something.
Yeah.
Mariota, bringing him in, signing Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like we got a plan. That feels like we got something going.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be all mix mashed and just a bunch of shit. Like
that
we're just
is my
signing
concern
guys
as well.
to sign guys to make it look good.
Have a plan, make it look good.
Like that feels like a plan. Mariota, Patterson, like nice gadget guy. We're talking about Canada's system with whatever. It's more of a college system with the RPOs and all that stuff. That sounds like okay. If we build up the defense, maybe we could do something with this offense then. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
We are gonna see. We are gonna see. It looked like we had one more super that came
We got
in.
the money, dude. What, 5 or 6 for Mariota, 5 or 6 for Patterson. We could do that right now.
That's what I'm saying. We absolutely could. Like, it's not an issue. We want to do it right now. We got to wait until free agency starts. The only issue. But we definitely, we can afford both of those guys and still do everything we're talking about in terms of beefing up the O-line, drafting, whether you're talking drafting or free agency for a linebacker, or if you want to add to your secondary, like, even extra, like we will have the space to do that. When you do not have a quarterback making the lion's share of the money, you can do a lot in terms of improving your roster. And that's why, for me, if you don't have one of them 7 franchise guys, I love this model, man. I do. But this does depend more on your scouting, though, now, because now you're scouting. All right, you got to hit on that linebacker. You got to hit on that receiver. You got to hit on that O-line. You got to hit on these other pieces because you know you're limited to an extent at the quarterback position.
Toy Anvil of Crom says, what do you guys think of Desmond Ridder? Seen him go into the Steelers in some articles. Not in the first round. I hope that doesn't happen.
That's my thing.
If you're taking a third-round flyer on him or something, sure. But I'm not too gung-ho on drafting a QB. I'm not. We've talked about this.
Not at 20. That's really my, like, I don't feel like any of these guys warrant that right now. Like I said, I'm still diving in it more and more. But for me, I'm not feeling it like that right now, man. Yeah. So, yeah. So,
what else we got?
No, that was it, man. So, yeah, we're good, bro. We're here for 3 hours, too, bro. You know what I mean? We gave him a offseason chunky in the offseason, man. Well, you know, that's what the show has become now. We just, you know, outside of the Friday mornings, we condensed it a little bit. Yeah, we do this. This is fun, man. Shout out to everybody, though, that's been rocking with us, man. Like I said, we're going to keep the show going. We're going to keep these conversations rolling, man. Yeah, and we're going to spin the block with y'all on Wednesday, baby. Yes, indeed. So, with that being said, did one last give one for the giver. Didn't see anything in there. Okay. So, yeah, I think we are good. So, with that being said, man, shout out to everybody that was tuning in with us. And until next time, baby.
Peace.